It's Friday Night Lights here in Underwood, Iowa, as we are getting set for a non-district cross-class matchup between the Underwood Eagles and the Clarinda Cardinals. I'm Nick Stavis on this hot and sweaty Friday night here in Underwood as we are set for some Week 2 action here in the Eagles Stadium. And I welcome in my partner, John Tarks, Coach John Tarks, I should say. And, Coach, it's quite the night. The Underwood Eagles come into this game 1-1 or 1-0, however you want to see it. Clarinda comes into this game 0-1, but it's good to be with you. It's good to have a game here, and I'm pretty excited.
Absolutely, yeah. I tell you, we're finally getting some weather a little more. For Underwood, this is week 3 technically for them, and they've played in some pretty mild conditions the first 2 nights. But this evening's going to get a chance to exercise the water bottles just a touch more than usual.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I said, Underwood coming off a huge victory last week, a 58-14 win over Tri-Center. Pretty dominant from start to finish. They were kind of the Underwood that we expected to see. They obviously lost to Lewis Central in Week 0. That game, in some people's eyes, is counted as a scrimmage. But either way, they hung with Lewis Central, only lost by a couple of touchdowns. So this is a team that a lot of people believe to be one of, if not the best team in Class 1A, and they have a really good chance to beat a team in a higher class than them tonight. So what are you expecting, and what are you telling your team if you're Coach McHaleson?
Well, if I'm Coach McHaleson, that LC game, they turn the ball over on downs inside the 5-yard line twice. If they don't do that, that game looks a lot different. The second quarter of the Tri-Center game, senior Alex Ravlin had a really uncharacteristic, 3 interceptions. And for as good as that game went for the Eagles, that game probably looks a whole lot different. So taking care of the ball, punching in when the opportunities present, I think is key for the Eagles tonight.
Yeah, and you look on the other side, the Clarinda Cardinals, a team that a lot of people thought would be one of the better teams in KMA land this year. They stumbled out of the gate. They lost 28-12 last week to Creston, and actually the score was a lot better than the game actually seemed. I was on the call for that game last week with Luke Cox, and Clarinda really, really struggled to move the ball. Outside of 2 big runs from Wyatt Schmidt and Tatum Brown, their quarterback and running back, they only got 3 first downs and 75 total yards. So if you're Clarinda and you're Coach Bevins for Clarinda, you're coming in, you're playing one of the best teams in Class 1A. What's the message to your team, and how do you bounce back from that on the road tonight?
Well, you're looking for those Week 2 improvements that every coach talks about. And it looks like we've got a little pregame water activity going on here. Our new head of grounds, Mike Newman, is going to get a opportunity to show off his skills.
Oh, wow. They are running the sprinklers here on the right-hand side. See if we can get our cameraman on the sprinklers there. Yeah, there you see him. I'm not really sure if that's on purpose, but either way, the sprinklers are running. It would be interesting if they kept those on, Tarks.
I keep looking to see if we got Carl Spackler down there trying to rid the grounds of some rodents down there of some kind. But, we had a similar incident happen like at my wedding one time. That's a story for another day. But, back to Clarinda, though. They got to find a way to move the ball. They've got some athletes that are some of the absolute best on the field tonight. And they've got to find a way to get the Tatum Browns and the Wyatt Schmitz and the Isaac Jones. How do we get those guys in one-on-one matchups where they can be that dominant athlete? If they do that, you'll see Clarinda take steps forward that I know they're looking for.
You talk about a guy like Tatum Brown. Last week, 12 carries, 91 yards. But it's a bit misleading because 48 of those 91 yards were on one run. It was one touchdown run. So Tatum Brown was, for the most part, completely bottled up last week by Creston. If you're Clarinda, how do you mix it up to try to get him involved? Because he is one of those guys who can break a game, and he's one of the best running backs in Class 1 or in Class 2A right now.
Yeah, you got to find. He's one of those special athletes that you don't just leave at one singular position. You want to move him around. You want to put him in the slot. You want to create some matchups. You want to get him in the backfield. You want to run some fly sweep type action. Anything you can to move him around and put him in position to be successful, I think it does nothing but help the Clarinda cause.
Now let's talk about the Underwood offense. Alex Ravlin, one of the best quarterbacks in Class 1A. He was, widely regarded as an all-state player coming into the season. He's played 2 pretty good games. Last week he threw 2 interceptions, but he was very efficient, 64%, almost 200 yards, 3 scores. He's one of the more versatile quarterbacks that Clarinda will see on their roster tonight. So if you're Clarinda, how do you stop him? And if you're Underwood, how do you get him going?
Yeah, he's a guy that, as good as Underwood is with everything else, I think Clarinda, you do have to have some sort of spy package of some kind and find a way to keep him from going the distance on you and causing a lot of problems. Because Alex he's somebody that I think the rest of 1A is probably awful lucky that he hasn't gotten to be as big, bigger than he is. If he had another 20, 30 pounds to go with all the athleticism and all the competitiveness he has, he's already a major problem. He'd be a big time problem with a little more size.
Let's talk about the rest of the Underwood offense. They have so many weapons. They have two capable running backs in Graham Jensen and Maddox Nelson. They both have, kind of split the carries. It's kind of been a running back by committee kind of thing for Underwood so far. And then obviously Josh Ravlin, Jack Van Fossen on the outside, Mason Boothby. Just the weapons are kind of endless for Underwood.
Yeah, and it seems like the theme around Underwood every year is, well, we got to replace this person, we got to replace that person. How are we going to do that? And then you see a kid like Easton Robertson play some snaps down there at Lewis Central as a sophomore that you go, well, there's the next wave of guys coming. So it's been a fountain of athletes down here at Underwood for a while, and it doesn't appear to be drying up anytime soon.
So we are just about set for kickoff here. It looks like it's going to be Isaac Jones to kick it off for the Clarinda Cardinals. We are looking directly into the sun, and that will get better as the night goes on. But for right now, bear with us as we try to see some of these numbers because that sun is bright, John.
Yeah, it's doing its job. No doubt about it.
It appears to be Josh Ravlin and on the near side, Jack Van Fossen to return the kick. So they are back deep. Isaac Jones will boot it. Clarinda looking for their first win of the season. Underwood looking to make a statement here tonight. We are ready to go, and there's the kick, and we are underway. It's going to be a line drive kick fielded by the up back. It looks like that is number 5. Maddox Nelson, and Nelson makes a move out across the 40, and he's down to the 44. So a nice return to start the game, and that will set up the Underwood Eagles with good field position. So what are you expecting on this first drive from the Eagles, John?
Well, based upon the film and just kind of listening to some of the commentary coming out of Clarinda's game last week, I expect Underwood to get right north and south with the run game. I see they got Graham Jensen taking the opening reps tonight. I think Underwood has shown that offensive line to be a strength of the team. I want to see what they can do with them to open the game here.
So here we go. Boothby goes in motion. Ravlin back to pass. Looks to the outside. It's caught on the near sideline, and he's taken down at the 50-yard line. That's Wyatt Baker with the catch. And his brother Nolan is running the camera for us tonight, so a big thanks to him. It's a gain of about 6 yards on first down. It'll bring up 2nd and 4.
Yeah, good way to get Baker into the game. He struggled a little bit catching the ball down at LC, so this is a nice way to get him going tonight.
2nd and 4. The handoff is up the middle to Jensen. Yes, Jensen down inside the 30 to the 25 and down to about the 20-yard line goes Graham Jensen. A big run there, a gain of about 30 yards, and a first down for the Eagles.
We talked about that Eagle athlete pipeline. That's actually Gage 7. That's their 3rd running back. That broke that off. Number 24, senior, plays D-line for him as well.
So a little hurry-up action here. The handoff up the middle to Jensen. Again, a big hole. Jensen inside the 10 to the 5. Touchdown, Eagles, just like that. Underwood strikes first. Wow, what a drive. Less than a minute, and the Eagles are on the board.
The Clarinda coaches have got to wonder if the boys got off the bus. Because, wow, those were 2 exceptionally dominant runs.
1 pass, 2 runs. Graham Jensen, 50 yards and 2 runs and a score. And just like that, Underwood has taken the lead with 11:09 to go in the first quarter. The kick is up and good by Basher, and so that makes it 7-0 right off the bat. We're going to step aside here as we get prepared for the kickoff here on the KMAX stream.
Pierce Communications in Southwest Iowa is putting their full support behind the student athletes in tonight's broadcast. The local family-owned business provides complete solutions to your telecommunication needs. With competitive pricing, their team of technicians pay attention to every detail to ensure and provide high-quality workmanship. With fast availability, you can expect immediate computer service in case of emergency. Contact Pierce Communications, your Southwest Iowa security and telecommunications experts at 712-388-6260 and ask about their VoIP cloud offerings. Pierce Communications, business systems are their business.
Back here on the KMAX stream, welcome back into Underwood. Firstly, I want to apologize to Gabe Savin because that is who just ran those 2 touchdowns. Gage Savin with 50 yards, 2 runs, 50 yards, and a score. It was not Graham Jensen. Apologies again, looking directly into the sun. It is a little tough to see the numbers, but either way, Gage Savin with 2 incredible runs. 51 seconds is all it takes for Underwood to strike first, and it's 7-0 Eagles here as Bayshore is ready to kick it off. It looks like it's going to be Taden Brown And I believe that is Dominic Polsley back there to receive the kick. And Polsley taking the outside, and he breaks a tackle. There's going to be a flag down. He gets out across the 20. We'll see what the flag is.
Ran a long ways, just ran a long ways in a direction that didn't get him too many yards. Looks like there'll probably be a block in the back from the way that flag came in.
So it will be first down and 10 regardless for Clarinda. So now, Coach, John, if you're Coach Bevins, what are you telling your team right now?
Well, you're still on script. You're still on the game plan. But, yeah, you need to clap back here. You can't go 3 and out right now with what Underwood just did to you, because if they go 3 and out and Underwood gets that ball back and quick strikes you again, the psyche of your team with how last week went has got to be in question.
So that will back them up. I believe it was a block in the back. It will back them up to about their own 7-yard line, which is not the place you want to start after you get scored on in 51 seconds, but that's where they will. It'll be Wyatt Schmidt in the shotgun to start this game. He's got 2 receivers to his right and 1 to his left, man in motion. Schmidt takes the snap. He's going to keep it up the middle, and Schmidt gets out across the 10, and that's going to be about it. So a gain of 2 or 3 on first down. And that'll bring up second and about 7 yards for the Cardinals.
Yeah, it sure looks like that they, from a year ago till now, that they are certainly willing to run Schmidt more than maybe they have in the past. So something to look for. There's more traditional I formation runs with the quarterback run game out of these offenses than some people use.
Shotgun snap again for Schmidt. He drops back. Pressure's coming right away, and he's going to throw it into the ground. That could be intentional grounding. We'll see what they decide here. But it did not look like he got out of the tackle box, and he did not get that back to the line of scrimmage. I don't think.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. We got kind of a rough angle on that, but Wyatt Baker, the Eagles senior linebacker, with the pressure.
And John, I can tell you right now, calling that Creston-Clarinda game last week, the Clarinda offensive line really struggled with that. Wyatt Schmidt was under siege the entire game, and it appears that is the storyline already after just 1 drop back. It'll be 3rd down and 8 now for Clarinda. Ball on their own 10-yard line. Schmidt comes out in the shotgun, puts a man in motion. That's Carson Downey. Schmidt back to pass. Has a little more time now, looking deep to the outside for Isaac Jones. Jones comes back to the ball, and he makes the catch. We'll see if he stayed in bounds, and he did. What a grab from Isaac Jones, the senior receiver. That was a connection that was missing last week against Creston, and it goes for about 25 yards right there, John.
Yeah, phenomenal grab, very tough tackle. Maintaining, the ball to the ground was impressive there. He knew where the ball was, Ravlin didn't, and that made all the difference for Jones.
Well, and he got undercut by Ravlin, but it was able to land in bounds. And that'll be a big first down pickup on 3rd and long there. It'll be 1st and 10 from their own 34 for the Cardinals. Schmidt takes the snap, drops back to pass, and we're going to get a false start here on Clarinda.
Let's say Hunnicky got a heck of a jump on things there for the Eagles right out the
box. They're actually going to call.
Nope, it's on Clarinda, but boy, Hunnicky was ready to go.
So they called offsides there. I wonder if someone was lined up.
Could have been
offsides, but either way, it's going to back up the Cardinals 5 yards. And it looked like they were going to pass again on that play, and they ran the ball a lot last week. Wyatt Schmidt only attempted 12 passes. So that could be something. One of those adjustments they made, as you said, from week 1 to week 2.
Eagles playing a little press right now. They're going to get after this. A little different look defensively for the Eagles.
Schmidt back to pass. Pressure coming. Looks to the outside, and it's picked off. Intercepted on the far sideline by Schoening. Schoening, pick 6. Touchdown, Eagles.
Boy, that's Schoening, boy. I tell you what, a year ago as a freshman, there's just some athletes that got that look. And, man, he's got it. What a great break on the ball. You could see that pick 6 coming about 8 yards out from him picking that ball off.
Wyatt Schmidt was looking for Adam Johnson on the far sideline on an out route, and Sam Schoening just jumped it, takes it back for 6, and Underwood has jumped out to a 13-0 lead here early, pending the extra point. Bayshore's kick is up and good, and that will make it 14-0. So, John, I mean, if you're, this is 2 touchdowns in less than 3 minutes. If you're Clarinda, I really don't even know how you respond. I mean, there has to be some sort of message to your team on that far sideline.
Well, I don't know how many plays we've had, but it's roughly been 8. And 7 of those have been very good for Underwood. 1 has been very good Clarinda. So that kind of tells you the tale of the tape. It's 14-0 Underwood. the Tatum Browns of the world need to bust some big plays here in short order to give some confidence to your team, because these teams are not, how we've watched the first 8 plays, they're not that different athletically, but between the years right now, they are that different, and that's the biggest difference in the game right now.
So it is 14-0 with 9:23 to go in the first half, or excuse me, in the first quarter.
Yeah, we talk about that Underwood pipeline of kids that just kind of keeps shouting. Now that Schoening kid, man, he's wearing Scotty Pearson's number. I mean, and he's just kind of, when you're a coach and you've done it a while, you just kind of walk by those kids and they almost smell like they're going to do good things for you. And boy, he's definitely got the vibe. I mean, he looks the part, and he's only a sophomore, folks.
So it'll be Bayshore to kick off. It'll be Tatum Brown and Dominic Pulsley back to receive again for the Cardinals.
Now, let's just make sure and hope the Eagles don't try to do an onside kick here or something strange. You
well,
know?
as long as Scott Frost isn't down there on the sideline for them, I think they should be okay. This one is booted by Bayshore, and that's going to be a touchback. A really nice kick there.
Now, as a guy that bleeds Husker red, those are painful remarks for me to make, but a little bit of humor is how we endure right now, Big Red Nation.
Yeah, I can confidently say I do not envy you as a member of Big Red Nation.
I do have a second set of season football tickets down to Stillwater this year, where I was last night. That kind of helps a little bit. You feel like you get kind of like a backup.
You were in Stillwater?
Oh, I got a boy going to school down there.
Wow, very nice. When did you get back?
Oh, about noon.
Very nice.
If you leave early in the morning, you make that kind of by lunchtime, which I don't like to miss meals, you know.
It'll be 1st and 10 for Clarinda here, trying to get anything going. It's Carson Downey on the carry. He doesn't get much, out to about the 22-yard line.
There's that guy Schoening again.
Sam Schoening, just a sophomore, led the team in tackles a week ago against Tri-Center. He already is on the board with a pick 6. And so it'll be 2nd down and about 8 here for Clarinda from their own 22. And the Cardinals just trying to get anything going here. Getting punched in the mouth like this early on isn't always easy.
It's interesting watching Underwood play their corners up and press tonight. This is not something they've done traditionally over the years.
Schmidt's going to turn around and hand it off to Tatum Brown, and he goes nowhere. He's stacked up in the backfield. The flag flies in late after the play, and it looks like it's going to be on the offense.
Ball came out.
Oh, the ball came out.
Yep.
That's a fumble.
Yep.
And it's Underwood ball. Oh, my goodness. This game.
Watching my guy Max Tarks down there pounding his chest a little bit. Came through and popped that ball loose. I'm not sure who jumped on it for the Eagles, but 62 is pumped up and blue right now. I can tell you that.
So it'll be 1st down and 10 for Underwood at the Clarinda 16-yard line. Ravlin play action, looks to the outside. It's caught on the far sideline by Mason Boothby, and he's going to be taken out of bounds at about the 9-yard line, it appears.
Boy, that Mason Boothby, that's one smooth athlete. Basketball, track, baseball, you name it. Smooth is his game.
So it'll be 2nd and 2 from the 8. Ravlin comes out, man in motion. That's his brother Josh. And there's the handoff up the middle to 7, and 7 breaks free for another score. Wow. 21-0 with 8:23 to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, this is the crisp performance the Eagles desired last week that they didn't get. They certainly this has been the best 4 minutes of their season, and boy, they're clicking.
So it'll be Bayshore. Bayshore's going to get tired here if he has to keep kicking these extra points.
Well, we're going to need to get the guys from Flex Physical Therapy keeping his leg loose.
That one is up and good, and so it'll be 21-0. We're going to go to a quick break. We'll be right back here on the KMA Extreme.
To the Drop In for fantastic daily food specials. For lunch on Monday, chicken fried steak. Tuesday is Taco Tuesday. Wednesday is a wild card. Thursday, bacon cheeseburger, fries, and chocolate cake. And Friday is a sirloin steak sandwich. And for supper specials, on Thursday it's roasted chicken and Friday prime rib. Open 11:30 till 9 weekdays, till 2 Friday and Saturday, and closed Sundays. Drop in to the Drop in McClelland for great family food and drinks with friends.
Welcome back into the KMA's Extreme. In partnership with Fuller Digital Solutions, a big thanks to them for all the equipment and the help that they give us. Big thanks to Nolan Baker down there below us working the camera. And, John, I don't really know where to start here. There's 8:23 left in the first quarter. It's 21-0 Underwood. Bayshore will kick off. Brown and Polsley back to receive again. That one is a high kick fielded on the far sideline by Polsley, and he muffed it. And he gets back on it. And a flag comes in, and it looks like it's going to be a late hit or a blindside block of some sort on number 5 here on the near side.
Now you can see the Eagle game plan is to not kick the ball to Tatum Brown, which is smart. They flipped. Clarinda flipped their returners that time. Underwood says, fine, we'll kick the other way. I don't blame them. I think that's just smart coaching. Do not kick the ball to dominant athletes. That needs to be number 1 in any hiring resume for any special teams coordinator. You ever had a chance to listen to Coach Van Fossen's football announcing skills here at Underwood?
I have not, sir.
You won't find somebody with a better lineup of fictitious ads than Coach Van Fossen, and a fellow Seinfeld aficionado as well, which makes things really entertaining here at Underwood High.
So it'll be 1st and 10 now for Clarinda, backed up in their own 10-yard line. The handoff is to Brown. Brown bounces it to the outside. He gets out of bounds about the 15, so a gain of 5 on 1st down will make it 2nd down and 5.
Well, you can just see his athleticism, though. Just even getting to the outside, getting a chance to run, getting a chance to just be a skilled athlete. If you were to flip him and put him in blue, ooh, I mean, the things we could do with you, you know. I think that would be the attitude of the Underwood staff. So
it'll be 2nd down and 5 here, or 2nd down and 10, I should say. And it's going to be Schmidt on the far sideline there. Take it down about the 15-yard line. It's hard to see.
Yeah, kind of a broken play. I'm not sure. Kind of a twin set, 2-back deal. Looked like outside zone to our side, and then next thing you know, Schmidt's kind of running solo to the opposite side of the field. Got 5 yards out of the deal.
So not only is Underwood dominating offensively, but 2 turnovers forced here in the first 4 minutes of this game.
Yeah,
has put them with great field position. Now Clarinda trying to get anything going. Schmidt in the shotgun takes the snap. Low snap, handles it, fires to the outside, and it is off the hands of Adam Johnson on the far sideline. So that'll bring up 4th down and 5. And if you're Clarinda here, it looks like they're going to bring on the punting unit. I suppose that's probably the right call, even though you're already in a 21-point hole.
At some point, you just got to start playing some. You got to start playing some on-schedule football and being able to execute your punt team, play a little field position, and put your defense in a position to try to be successful is what you got to do.
So it's going to be Isaac Jones to punt it here, I believe, or it's Caden Butt. I can't really see on the, and that's going to be a line drive punt, and it's caught by the up back, and we're going to get a return down to the 33-yard line. That's Wyatt Baker, who just kind of caught it on accident, John.
That was kind of one of the more interesting things. If he hadn't caught the ball might have caught him.
Oh, my goodness. That was just a line drive, kind of like a 2-iron punt, straight into the face mask of Wyatt Baker, and he happened to catch it and was able to get a decent return out of it.
Caught the ball in self-defense, folks. We almost lost one out here.
So this is a 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line for the Underwood Eagles, with a chance to go up 4 scores midway through this first quarter. Ravlin to the outside to Ravlin, and Ravlin gets across the 20, and I think Ravlin touched the ball on that play, John.
Yeah, a couple of them, yeah. Yeah, I tell you what, there's just...
What's that connect? You got to tell me, what's that connection like? You know, you're pretty familiar with this program. When you're the quarterback throwing to your little brother, who's also a standout wide receiver, it's 2nd down and about 5 here. Ravlin in the shotgun, 2 receivers on either side, takes the snap, hands it off up the middle. This is Graham Jensen, and Jensen is going to walk into the end zone. Touchdown, Underwood. Wow.
Yeah, that kick block by Huneke opened up, Interstate 80 type sized lanes, and Jensen is more of a kind of a bruiser, but he just squashed that right through there. So, them Ravlin boys, they're both ultra competitive, so they play off each other exceptionally well, and there's very much that you mess with me, you get both of us vibe out of those two boys. Yeah.
So it'll be Bayshore again to kick the extra point, and that one is up and good. So that is going to be another score for the Underwood Eagles. It's 28-0 here with 6:52 to go in the first quarter. We'll be right back on the KMAX stream.
Azria Health Clarinda provides excellence at every level, delivering exceptional service to each individual. From our inviting welcome program to our individualized care plans, we're with you every step of the way. Our team considers every detail in making you feel at home, providing a high level of personal attention. The entire Azria Health Clarinda experience is designed to encourage social activity and maintain regimens that foster health and well-being. Compassionate care, personalized service, state-of-the-art programs. Azria Health, Clarinda.
Welcome back into the KMAX stream. 28-0 is your score, Underwood. We have not even played. We're not even halfway through the first quarter here. And it'll be Bayshore to kick it off again here for the Eagles. And John, you've been, you're a coach. I'd assume you've been in tough situations before, maybe not like this, as this one is going to be taken by Polesley at the 10-yard line. Polesley gets out across the 15. He's going to slip and fall at the 19-yard line. But you've been, I don't know if you've been in situations this bad, but, what do you even say to your team if you're Coach Bevins on the far sideline right now?
It's a next play philosophy. In 2015, I was on that sideline with the Tri-Center colors on and had a very similar first quarter when Nick Pedersen was kind of running the show around here. They were hungry for a shot at the Trojans, and they got a big chunk that night. And it does. As a coach, it just kind of like takes your breath away. It's just, what do we do next? And we managed to get a kickoff return back for touch and kind of stem the tide for a few minutes, but it didn't take long for the Underwood offense to do just what they're doing tonight. You're just trying to manage little situations and trying to find small victories right now.
So Tatum Brown's going to break one here. That's the biggest, I should say the longest run of the night so far for Clarinda. He takes it out to about the 29-yard line. He's close to a first down.
Best job the Clarinda line has done all night. There was a hole there, an opportunity there. That's one on the play card you certainly want to circle and come back to sometime soon. Underwood with a few subs in here. I see the few fresh faces in the defensive line here to open this possession.
So it'll be first down and 10 now for Clarinda. Ball on their own 29-yard line. Pistol formation here. The handoff up the middle to Tatum Brown. He finds a little more space. Brown gets out across the 35, and Tatum Brown finding some breathing room down to about the 37-yard line.
Check that waiting 2 or 3 plays to run the same play again. same play, back to back. Gash for a first, 8 yards the next time. Maybe run it the other way, but Clarinda has found a little something here to give them a little life, that's for sure.
So it'll be second down and 3. Snap to Schmidt, handoff up the middle to Tatum Brown, flag in the backfield. Brown has the first down, but I would assume not for long.
Yeah, that flag smells like holding.
Brown on the carry, Wyatt Baker.
Yeah.
On the stop, there's a flag.
Referee Josh Revlin's helping us with the preliminary call. Yep, there you go. I've said it before in previous broadcasts. If you get to an Underwood basketball game this winter, and get a chance to sit next to the floor, just kind of your ears tuned in to young Ravlin. He is as quick-witted and entertaining. He's one of those teammates when you're at your 25-year reunion. Someone will go, you remember that night you said such and such about such and such, or told such and such this during the game. He's a very entertaining, very competitive young man. He's just a lot of fun for your kids to grow up around.
So it'll be 2nd down and 12 here, 28-0 with 5:20 to go in the first quarter. It's going to be a speed option here. Smith is going to pitch it to Brown. Brown on the far sideline, gets the edge, gets out of bounds at about the 30, so a gain of 3. And you can tell, John, they're just trying to get their athletes in space here. I mean, Tatum Brown is, I don't want to say he's the best athlete on the field, but he's probably right up there in terms of pure athleticism, speed, size. And they just haven't been able to get him any breathing room this season. I think that's just what they're trying to do to try to claw back into this game.
Yeah, it would be of interest to me to see them move him out of the backfield a little bit and do some different things with him.
Mm-hmm.
So far tonight, they've kept him at that tailback spot.
Fakes the handoff to Brown. Schmidt to the outside, finds a receiver out across the 35, bowls over a tackle across the 40, 50, and he's down to the 45-yard line. That is number 18, Ethan McAndrews. And a first down, and Clarinda is moving the ball.
Yeah, 2 or 3 successful runs certainly changes how your passing game looks, and Clarinda's enjoying that right now. Excellent. Well, I don't know who got truck stick there from Underwood, but excellent run after the catch on top of some good execution from the line and quarterback Schmitz.
So 1st down and 10 for Clarinda and plus territory for the first time tonight. Schmidt takes the snap. He's back to pass. Blitz coming up the middle. Fires the outside, caught by Ronnie Weedman on the near sideline. He gets down to about the 41-yard line, so a gain of 4, and this quick pass stuff seems to be working for him, John.
Yeah, really, really nice rhythm on this series for Clarinda. Everything's crisp. Everything's got some nice fundamentals to it. There's some good execution, and you're seeing the results in the chains moving.
So it'll be 2nd down and 6 for Clarinda from the Underwood 46. Pistol formation again here for Wyatt Schmidt. Downey goes in motion. Schmidt takes the snap, handoff up the middle to Brown. Brown inside the 40. Brown bowling over tacklers down to the 36-yard line. He's very close to a first down. It'll be 3rd and very short, and this is something that has to be encouraging for Clarinda. This is, down 28-0 so early in the game. It's probably really easy to just hang it up, but it looks like they're out here still trying to score.
Yeah, that's an H-back counter tray play that they've run there. Now, that's the 3rd time this possession they've run it. I'm going to guess that center's doing one heck of a job basing back on whoever Underwood's got at tackle trying to come and follow that sucker, because there is no help, and I know that's something Underwood preaches, is to follow those poles.
Downey in motion again. Schmidt takes the shotgun snap. He's going to keep it, and he's going to have the first down inside the 35 to the 30, and down to about the 28-yard line goes Wyatt Schmidt. So Clarinda, for the first time all season, finally getting some push up front here.
Yeah, excellent job by the quarterback Schmitz. I call that running through the smoke all the time. He just found a hole, found a gap, and then turned it into 5-6 yards to boot.
Yeah, Wyatt Schmidt really felt the pressure last week. Couldn't help but almost feel for him with how much he was getting hit. Max Chapman was in his face, defensive lineman for Creston, one of the better D tackles in the entire KMA land. And he was in Schmidt's face all night long, and now Schmidt takes the snap on 1st and 10. Pressure coming, looks to the outside, caught by Isaac Jones on the near sideline, and that is down to about the 23-yard line, so a gain of about 5 or 6 yards on 1st down, and Clarinda is putting together a pretty nice drive here.
The one thing that Underwood could do to help themselves defensively is they're real casual to alignment. A little more urgency to alignment, a little more pre-snap readiness, I think puts them in a little bit better position to bring the type of pressure I know Coach Ritter wants. When you start to play a half step behind where you want to be, you have a hard time making up for that during the play.
So 2nd down and 5 from the 23-yard line. That's going to be a handoff to Downey, and Downey fighting off tacklers down to about the 21. What was that play, John?
I'm not sure what that was, but I think that might have been Graham Jensen. Somebody cleaned up that tackle with some real authority.
So it'll be a gain of about 2 or 3 on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 3 from the 21-yard line for Clarinda. And this is a big down here for the Cardinals, trying to keep moving the sticks. They've done a good job of it so far. Schmidt in the shotgun, 1 receiver to his left, 2 to his right. Downey goes in motion. Schmidt the snap, back to pass. Looks, fires the outside, and it's almost picked off again on the far sideline. Mason Boothby was there.
Yeah, they're fortunate. If Boothby catches that, the band warms up because he's not going to get caught.
And that looked like
that was Underwood's best assignment alignment possession or play of the possession.
I was going to say that almost looked like the same exact route, same exact throw that the pick six happened on earlier in the game. It'll be 4th and 3 now for Clarinda from the 21-yard line. And when you talk about pivotal downs in a football game, this is one right here because Clarinda needs to score, down 28-0 with 1:42 to go in the first quarter. Schmidt comes out on the shotgun. Ronnie Weidman, the lone wide receiver, split to his right. Schmidt's going to keep it. Schmidt makes a move. He's going to break over a tackle, has the first down to the 13-yard line. A nice, tough run there by Wyatt Schmidt, John.
Yeah, they just did a nice job. They brought a little motion with that H-back over and then just swept that sucker to the field. You can see that quarterback run game on critical downs is something they're pretty interested in.
And we got hands on hips and on the Underwood defense, and they're going to call a timeout. Clarinda putting together a nice drive, but they have a big mountain to climb. Down 28-0. We'll step aside.
Dave Lyon Towing and Repair has been serving the Underwood area for over 40 years. They offer 24-hour light and heavy-duty towing and recovery, including a rotator, winch equipment, wreckers, and flatbeds to serve you. They're available for repair on cars and trucks Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Located at 134th Street in Underwood, when you need a lift or repair work, call Dave Lyon Towing and Repair of Underwood, Iowa, 712-566-2317. Not the biggest, just the best.
Those guys are always good about not unnecessarily tagging you.
Welcome back into the KMA Extreme. Nick Stavis alongside John Tarks in Underwood. 28-0 the Eagles lead here early in this game. It's a 1st and 10 for Clarinda on their best drive of the season so far. 1st and 10 from the Underwood 14-yard line with 1:36 left in the first quarter. Downey in motion, Smith in the pistol. Schmidt takes the snap, speed option, and he's bottled up. Stuffed at the line. And it looks like Riker Adair in on the tackle there. That's not even a name I have on my sheet here.
Yeah, they're kind of digging down the roster there a little bit. He had a big safety up there at Tri-Center last week. Got him pretty pumped up, and it looks like the coaching staff here, I see we got Walter Osmore in at nose and Riker Adair in there in that defensive line. Underwood likes to play a little bit undersized at them D tackle spots. You know, right now Clarinda has had a lot of success dictating what's going on this possession. That's why they've been successful. If Underwood can flip that, they'll have a chance to stop this.
2nd and 11 from the 15 after the loss of 1. That's a handoff to Brown, and that is none other than Max Tarks. Meets him in the backfield. He ran through the line unblocked, and that is going to be a loss of about 5 yards there. Really nice play by Tarks up the middle.
Yeah, that's a really big play to stick, put this into a 3rd and 15 type situation. It'll allow Coach Ritter to dial up some pressure because undoubtedly they're going to need to put the ball in the air here to get their down and distance achieved.
So it'll be 3rd down and 15 from the Underwood 20. Schmidt comes out in the shotgun. He's got trips to his right. Taden Brown stands to his left. Downey motions in. Schmidt drops back to pass, has some time. Now he's flushed out of the pocket. Schmidt going to look to the end zone, and it is almost caught. Carson Downey tried to make the catch in the back of the end zone. It went through his hands. It was a tough catch as he was falling backwards, but that'll bring up 4th down.
They had an opportunity there. There was an awful lot of ugly, and then for a second you thought Clarinda's going to score on this.
Some of those broken plays when you have an athletic quarterback by Wyatt Schmidt are almost better sometimes because it gets the defense out of position. But Carson Downey unable to haul in the pass. Clarinda's going to go for this.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I see they got a little different personnel package. Their H-back has gone off the field, and
they're going to come out and spread the field. 2 receivers on either side of Wyatt Schmidt. Taden Brown in the backfield with him. Schmidt takes the snap. He's back to pass. Looking. Steps up in the pocket. He's going to fire one of the end zone, and it is caught. Caught on the near sideline. Ethan McAndrews in the corner of the end zone. And a nice pitch and catch from Schmidt to McAndrews to put Clarinda on the board.
Yeah, I tell you, that's the second time in this game where the Eagle DB has kind of been in no man's land where the ball's at, and the Clarinda kid knows where it is, and it just kind of falls into their lap. Interesting on this side, I don't think Clarinda had enough kids on the line of scrimmage. It looked like both receivers on this 2x2 set to our side were off the line, but I don't think you're going to get instant replay here in Underwood, Iowa tonight.
So it'll be a 2-point attempt here for Clarinda after the McAndrews touchdown. Schmidt comes out, takes the snap, drops back to pass, has a lot of time, still looking. Now he's flushed out of the pocket. He's just going to tuck this one and run it, and he fights through one tackle, reaches for the pylon, but he can't get it. So the 2-point attempt is no good, and that'll make it stay at 28-6. We're going to step aside here. Clarinda gets on the board. It's 28-6 Underwood at the end of the first quarter.
With Shore Motor Company in Clarinda to remind you that we are your local Chevrolet, Buick, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, and Chrysler dealer. With straightforward pricing, transparent trade appraisals, and no finance manager to deal with, we make your purchase the easiest you've ever experienced. That's our promise to you. And with an express lane for quick oil changes open 6 days a week, our service department is sure to impress you as well. Shore Motor Company in Clarinda, proudly supporting local high school sports.
Welcome back in. KMA Extreme, Nick Stavas up here in the booth with John Tarks. It's 28-6. Clarinda with a little bit of life there after that drive, John.
Yeah, absolutely. They got to feel good about moving the ball. They got to feel good about dictating the pace of what was going on there. They were certainly the aggressor that drive for the first time all night.
So it's going to be Isaac Jones to boot it deep here for Clarinda. This will be Josh Ravlin to take it from about the 16-yard line. Ravlin gets out across the 25 to the 30, has some space, and a nice tackle there on the near sideline by Carson Downey, and Ravlin gets stopped at about the 34, and that's where Underwood will set up shop.
Yeah, that looked like that had the opportunity to squirt for a little bit more than it did, but Downey sure did a nice job coming in and cleaning that up. I tell you, if you're Coach Ritter right now, you're sort of thinking about how do I get better awareness out of my DBs and where that ball's at. They've kind of struggled with that, struggled in space, struggled when they're in phase to read the eyes of the receiver and put themselves into play on the ball.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for Underwood here on their own 34-yard line. Ravlin puts Ravlin in motion. Ravlin takes the snap and throws the outside. It's caught by Boothby. Boothby almost had to go down to a knee to grab it, but he's able to stand back up, and he gets about 2 yards out of it.
Yeah, he was patient enough on that. It made you wonder if that ball didn't skip. It was right in front of the Eagles' sideline where we have kind of a hard view to see if he was able to get that ball caught or not.
So it'll be 2nd down and about 7. Handoff up the middle. That's Jensen. Jensen breaks a tackle. Jensen running hard. Gets across midfield down to about the 48-yard line. A really nice run there by Graham Jensen.
I'm not sure if it's missed tackles or phenomenal footwork by Jensen or probably a combination of the two, but he is sure doing a nice job on the whole, stuttering with his feet, moving side to side and making guys miss. I think he did it twice on that nice run.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for Underwood from the 49. Ravlin back to pass. He's going to take a deep shot to Boothby, and that one is well out of bounds. Boothby caught it, but the pass was well out of bounds, and not the tight spiral we typically see from Alex Ravlin.
Well, that's as much on Boothby as it is on Ravlin. He's got to know that 2 to 3 yards between the sideline and where he's at, that belongs to the quarterback. You got to give him space to drop that ball. And even his alignment right now, it's too tight to the sideline.
So on second down, it's Jensen down to across the 40 and inside the 40 to the 36-yard line. He was hit hard by Jace Wilmus.
Man,
and Jace Wilmus, John, Clarinda had a rough time last week. If there was a single bright spot, it was Jace Wilmus.
Well, I tell you what, they get 11 dudes running the rock like him, people are going to stop moving the ball on Clarinda.
Goes to the outside, and this is caught by Van Fossen, and Van Fossen down to about the 30-yard line before he shoved out of bounds. And Wilmus on that defensive line was able to get to Crusted quarterback Kyle Strider. Clarinda had 3 sacks. Wilmus had all of them. He is definitely the best player on the defensive side of the ball, or at least in the front 7 for Clarinda. And now Ravlin will be back to pass on second and short. He's going to go deep to his brother Josh on the far sideline, and it was almost hauled in. A diving attempt there from Josh Ravlin, but he's unable to make the catch. And a nice wheel route there by Ravlin, but well defended by Tatum Brown.
Yeah. Talking back about our guy Wilmus, you can just see right now he's kind of struggling with conditioning right now. I focus on in these last 2 plays just off the ball, hands on hip. Body language says right now I'm not quite at 100%.
He is one of those guys who will not stop fighting, though, as Jensen, a hard run up the middle. It's going to be close to a first down. We'll see if they give it to him. He's down to about the 28-yard line, which was right at the line to gain, but they're going to say he's short. They're actually going to spot him at the 28. It's a yard short, so it'll be 4th and 1, and Underwood moving quickly here, and it looks like they drew him off.
That's got to be frustrating.
Well, and that's such an experienced quarterback.
Yeah.
John, when you have a guy like that, like Alex Ravlin, who you can run on no huddle on 4th down and have a good enough hard count to draw the defense off, that just doesn't happen much in high school football.
He didn't even see Underwood flinch. That had to have been a call from Coach Richards.
Fake the jet sweep. Ravlin going to go to the end zone looking for Boothby, and it's picked! Intercepted in the end zone. And it looks like that was Noah Harris on the interception, I believe. And so that will be an interception in the end zone by Alex Ravlin. A nice play there by Noah Harris, and somewhat of an ill-advised throw there from Ravlin, John, thrown in a double coverage in the end zone.
Yeah, I can see the Eagles senior frustrated with himself because I'm sure ball security and putting that ball in not throwing picks has probably been a theme of the week for him. So
now if you're Clarinda, John, you got a long way to go. You got the ball in your own 20, but if you can drive the length of the field and put some points on the board here before halftime, it isn't as bad as it could be.
No, we're going to find out if we got a football game to talk about tonight or not on this drive.
10:30 to go in the second quarter. Schmidt comes out in the pistol. 1st and 10 for Clarinda after the interception. Schmidt hands it off to Brown. Brown up the middle, out across the 25, and he's down to about the 26-yard line. A really nice carry there by Tatum Brown, and he's starting to get in his rhythm, John.
Yeah, and again, that counter tray play that they've had good success with. I think if you were to take the average, they probably run that 5 times a night. Their average carry on that's probably in that 6-7 yards. So it's been a very successful play for them.
So it'll be 2nd down and about 4 for the Cardinals from their own 26-yard line, trying to get back into this game. They fell behind 28-0 in the first 5 minutes. But with a couple defensive stops and a nice long drive for a touchdown, they appear to have a little bit of life. Back to pass is Schmidt. He's flushed out of the pocket. Schmidt's going to go deep. He's looking for Isaac Jones. Jones has a step, and he just can't quite make the catch. He got his hands on the ball, and Mason Boothby was not in good position to defend that pass. And Jones just about came down with it, but either way, it's an incomplete pass. It'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, that
again, a nice back shoulder ball there by Wyatt Schmidt.
It was. Schmidt put that. He got flushed out of the pocket, but he still put the ball in position where only his guy could have success with it. Underwood's got to be a little concerned about their DBs in space right now. It just has not been a strength of the evening for them.
Well, and that's a strength for Clarinda. If there's any strength on this Clarinda offense, it is certainly the skill positions. Lots of speed on the outside for the Cardinals as Schmidt is flushed out of the pocket again. Now he's going to take a deep shot to Jones, and that is almost hauled in. No, they're going to say it was picked off. Intercepted by Josh Ravlin on the far sideline.
That was
How did he come down with that, John?
Well, just as we've been cussing the Eagle DBs for not being aware where the ball was, he was well aware of where the ball was. I thought Jones kind of undercut him, and it looked like he's going to have a chance to come back and heroically get that ball, and then all at once And I don't know if we had instant replay if it would still be Eagle ball. It turns into one heck of an arm punt, I can tell you that. But really nice grab by the Eagle defender.
Well, judging from their last punt, it might have been a better situation here if they don't pick up that first down, but definitely not something you wanted if you're the Cardinals. It's 1st and 10 for the Eagles on their own 36. They fake the handoff to Jensen. Ravlin keeps it up the middle, gets about a yard. So 2 back-to-back interceptions on back-to-back possessions from the 2 senior quarterbacks. And, you know, John, you talk about a guy like Wyatt Schmidt. How do you get him to the point where you're throwing to, because Adam Johnson was running wide open down the near sideline on that play as the handoff is up the middle to Jensen. He breaks free. Jensen now across the 50 to the 45, inside the 40 down to the 39. A big run there by Graham Jensen for Underwood, and the Eagles are back in business on the offense. But back to Wyatt Schmidt, you know, he loves Isaac Jones. Isaac Jones was in double coverage on the near sideline. Adam Johnson was wide open. How do you get a quarterback to understand, you know, when to pick your spots?
Well, sometimes it just comes down to the progression the young man's been taught. You know, everybody's got a little different spin on how they, you know, are we throwing the ball to open space? Are we a high-low read? What do we got going on here? Where, you know, there's a lot of different nomenclature out there right now in coaching as far as how you want to go through your progressions. And sometimes it goes, how did you not see that guy wide open? Well, he wasn't coached to see that particular guy.
So Ravlin on 2nd and 9 after the 1-yard run by Jensen. And Ravlin throws another interception on the far sideline. That one is picked off.
Just underthrown.
Number 2, Karsten, I believe Karsten Bevel maybe? I'm going to have to look at that one because he's not even on. A lot of different guys playing tonight than what Clarinda rolled out there last week, maybe on purpose.
Well, we got a flag of some capacity.
We do have
here.
a penalty marker on the field, and it looks like they're going to call it on Underwood. I'm not sure. Or no, they're going to.
On Clarinda. Wow. Right now, if you are the Underwood staff, we are throwing passes the rest of the game that are going to get our quarterback feeling really good about throwing that ball.
Yep.
These 50-50 balls, maybe some of this stuff. So I can't say that there's just what they're doing with the senior quarterback, but sometimes you start adding things to the playbook. You start doing things that are because you can, as opposed to just doing what you've been good at. I think I've been guilty of that as a coach myself over the years.
I think that was a pass interference call. Now Ravlin's going to look for Jensen, who's wide open out of the backfield. Gets down inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal for the Eagles. I believe they got Bevel on the far sideline for pass interference. So instead of 1st and 10 for Clarinda at their own 30, it was 1st and 10 for Underwood at the Clarinda 24, and now it's 1st and goal from the 8. So a big shift in momentum there as it looks like maybe the Cardinals might have some life, but now Underwood knocking on the door trying to extend their lead. Ravlin takes the snap. He loses the ball, and he picks it back up before he's walloped in the backfield.
Yeah.
But it looked like a little confusion there as Josh Ravlin was coming in motion.
Now we're figuring out we got the wrong ball on the field.
This game, you know, John, this game has been a little chaotic so far. I can tell you that.
From a guy that did a gazillion freshman and JV games, every time we got to an away place, if the ball had air and laces on it, let's play with it. That's my ball, your ball, garbage. Let's play football, fellas.
So it'll be 2nd down and goal from about the 10-yard line. The handoff up the middle to Maddox Nelson, and he goes nowhere. Stopped in the backfield for a loss of 2, and that'll bring up 3rd and goal from the 13.
I tell you, Underwood was exceptionally sharp to 28-0, and then they've lost their edge. It's just been, you know, a good play here.
Might have gotten a little
play.
comfortable.
Yep. We might have seen a little of this kind of out of them last week up at Tri-Center too, where I think they went up there expecting to be successful, and they were, and it just kind of made them complacent. You're seeing some complacent football out of the Eagles right now.
So it'll be 3rd and goal for Underwood. Back to pass is Ravlin looking for the end zone, and it is caught on the far sideline. Touchdown Eagles, Mason Boothby. What a snag in the corner of the end zone, and the Eagles strike again.
Now that's the opposite of what we talked about. I mean, and Underwood's got the skilled kids to make plays like that. I don't know if he meant to throw that as a back shoulder, but he just got that Jones kid from Clarinda kind of spun around. If Jones is in just a little bit different position, that's a very easy interception for him. Again, some of the things that have plagued the Eagle DBs plagued the Clarinda DB on that particular play.
So Bayshore out to attempt the extra point. That one is easily through, and that will make it 35-6 with 7:05 to go in the first half. We'll be right back here on the KMA Extreme from Underwood.
Your feet carry you through life, which is why Clarinda Regional Health Center wants to make sure you're putting your best foot forward for any foot or ankle concerns. Our team of podiatrists are available weekdays to address your foot or ankle issues, ranging from arthritis to diabetic foot problems, bunions, hammer toes, or foot injuries that might require surgical care. CRHC wants to help you take a step in the right direction, so go to clarindahealth.com to learn more about our podiatry services.
Welcome back in the KMA Extreme. Next stop is John Tarks. Back here in Underwood, 7:05 to go in the first half. Underwood just extended their lead to 35-6, a 29-point lead for the Eagles. And John, you were talking a little bit about, Underwood maybe getting a little comfortable, and that they're not as crisp right now as what we saw in the first 6 minutes. Do you think that's more of the fact that Underwood, is getting a little lazy, or maybe Clarinda's settling in a little more? What is a combination of both?
It's probably a combination of both, but Underwood clearly needs to be better at handling success.
There's a boot from Bayshore, caught at the 9-yard line by Polsley. Polsley out across the 20, and he gets stood up at the 23, and that's where Clarinda will start their drive. And it's just a crazy momentum shift here because Alex Ravlin threw that interception in the end zone right after Clarinda scored. Yep. You think, okay, maybe Clarinda can drive down the field, make this a 2-score game. We might have a contest here. And then the interception from Underwood, and then Clarinda kind of stuffs them on the goal line. It was 3rd and goal from the 15, and then an amazing catch from Mason Boothby, and we're right back to where we started for Clarinda.
If you eliminate the first 28 points, we've had a decent football game here.
We really have, and it's one of those weird situations where, like, I don't think these teams are necessarily 28 points apart in terms of talent, but, when a team can come out and punch you in the mouth like that in the first 5 minutes of the game, that's hard to come back from psychologically. So we'll see what the Cardinals can do here as they roll Wyatt Schmidt out to his right, a throw to Adam Johnson, and that one is caught. A really nice pitch and catch there. A tough throw to make by Wyatt Schmidt. It's good for about 10 yards and a first down.
Yeah, good execution across the way. A nice sprint out, flood concept there, 3-tiered looking route. And, excellent route, excellent execution. Underwood defended it well. Clarinda just played just a skosh better on that play.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for Clarinda from their own 35. Wyatt Schmidt out in the pistol formation. Taden Brown in the backfield. Downey goes in motion. Schmidt, the snap. Fake handoff to Brown. Now he's under pressure. He steps up in the pocket, eludes some tacklers, and fires across the middle of the field, and it's almost picked off. Josh Ravlin almost had that one. And Wyatt Schmidt had Isaac Jones streaking down the middle of the field wide open.
There's a lot going on there.
There was a lot going on. A nice job by Wyatt Schmidt to get out of the pocket there. I mean, it looked like he was dead to rights, but he was able to get out. He fired off a throw. Obviously, Josh Ravlin should have had that interception. But
he was an awful cool customer until he wasn't.
So it'll be 2nd down and 10 from their own 30 for the Cardinals, trying to mount a comeback here, down 35-6 midway through the second quarter. Downey goes in motion. Schmidt takes the snap. He's going to hand it off to Taden Brown, and that's that misdirection again. Johnny gets out to the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 5. We'll bring up 3rd down and 5, and that's a pretty good gain on 2nd and long, and 3rd and manageable here.
Yeah. I'd sure love to see an end zone copy of that counter play and what's going on, because Underwood has not really appropriately addressed that play yet tonight. That's, again, we've talked about a 5, 6, 7 yard per per carry hit. I mean, right now, if you're the Clarinda OC, that has to be every 3 plays, every time you get a new set of downs, that has to be one of your 3 plays you're going to run, because Underwood has not addressed it.
3rd and 5 now for the Cardinals. Schmidt has trips to his left. He takes the snap. He rolls out to his left. Pressure coming. Fires across the middle of the field, and that one is intercepted. Picked off by Sam Schoening, his 2nd of the night, and the Eagles will take over.
That's got to be frustrating for the Cardinal staff to watch. That was not, as nice a night as Wyatt has had, that was not one of his better football plays.
So another tough break for Clarinda, another turnover, and Underwood will take over at midfield to try to add to their lead here. 5:38 to go in the 2nd quarter. 35-6 is the lead for Underwood.
Man, if I'm Underwood, I'd get behind that offensive line and get an attitude right now. Let's see if we can punch this thing to a running clock right away.
Hard count, almost got Clarinda off sides, but it doesn't.
They're coming hard off the edges. Something up the middle and through the smoke would be pretty good.
Ravlin back to pass, fires across the middle, caught by Josh Ravlin inside the 35, down inside the 30, and down to the 25-yard line goes Josh Ravlin. A really nice pitch and catch from the Ravlin brothers, and a 1st and 10 for Underwood.
Really nice fundamental tackle there by Jones, though. I love how he got a hand on the guy, slow him down.
Almost punched the ball out.
Oh, man, he made one heck of a tomahawk at the ball. That was one of the more fundamental
nice
plays.
Job by Josh Ravlin to hold on.
Yeah. Good fundamentals by both young men.
1st and 10. It's going to be a little toss out here, a screen to Maddox Nelson. The screen, was that a screen or a kind of a swing pass, John?
Yeah, all of the above. I see Eagle lineman Colin Van Tilburg downfield here doing a nice job blocking, and he was on the plus side of the LOS, so that tells me that was a swing screen of some capacity to Nelson.
So it'll be 2nd down and a short here, about 3 yards to go from the 20-yard line. Ravlin in the shotgun, takes the snap, handoff to Maddox Nelson. Nelson goes nowhere. Really nice tackle there in the backfield by Bryson Harris, the sophomore.
Yeah, he did a nice job. He knifed in on that backside A-gap. There was clearly a breakdown there in the Eagle offensive line. And
Bryson Harris, just a sophomore. Speaking of Luke Cox, he's from Clarinda. Last week he said Bryson Harris made such a leap in the offseason from freshman to sophomore year, earned that starting spot on the defensive line. He's subbed out for this play. It's 3rd down and 2 from the 20-yard line for Underwood. Back to pass is Alex Ravlin. Looks deep across the middle, and it's intercepted. What a catch there in the defensive backfield. That's number 23, Taden Brown, and a big play on the defensive end for Taden Brown. And that's the 2nd interception of the night from Alex Ravlin.
Nice 50-50 ball that the kid made enough of. Taden Brown made a heck of a play on.
So Underwood will take over inside their own 5-yard line. But a big stop there, and this game has kind of just been relatively sloppy on both sides, I would say, John.
Yep, like we said before, minus them losing first 28 points, it's been kind of a week 1 looking type of game.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from Clarinda, for Clarinda from their own 3. Backed up in the shadow of their own goalpost. Schmidt in the shotgun. He puts Ronnie Weedman in motion. Or excuse me, that's Ethan McAndrews in motion. Schmidt's going to keep it, and the quarterback keeper gets down to about, it's actually going to be a loss of about a yard. Almost a safety there.
That's not going the direction Clarinda wants to go.
Don't have much more room to go that direction either here, John. It'll be 2nd and about 12 from the 1-yard line.
This might have the Eagle defenders' attention just a little bit. Opportunities for safeties don't come every day, and they've got them in a position right now to potentially get one.
So it'll be 2nd and 11 here. And if you're Underwood, you bring the house here?
I'd bring something.
It's going to be a handoff off tackle. A really nice block, and now Carson Downey breaks it free, bowling over tacklers to the 15-yard line. Well-designed play there. Everyone came up the middle for Underwood. A nice off-tackle block, and Carson Downey able to get 10 yards and a 1st down.
Yeah, it was a combination of 2 things there. Tremendous determination by Carson Downey to run the ball and run the ball hard. But again, it's just kind of this, I don't know, laissez-faire kind of assignment and alignment by the Eagles that were just not quite ready for the ball to snap. And that play sure looked like it.
3:15 to go here in the first half. 1st and 10 for the Eagles from their own 15-yard line. The handoff to Downey again, and he is stood up. at about the 15-yard line, and no gain.
I'd say that had to be a wrestler making that play because there was a single leg and a half going on in there. And sure enough, Graham Jensen comes up from the pile. That was a really, really nice play by the Eagle linebacker.
So it's a loss of about a half yard there. It'll bring up 2nd and 11 from their own 14-yard line. And if you're Clarinda, I would think you might want to hurry up here. 2:42 to go in the first half. Try to get some points on the board before halftime. But right now they are taking their sweet time in the huddle. They finally break it here. Schmidt comes out in the pistol with trips to his right. Down he goes in motion. Schmidt takes the snap. It's a handoff to Brown. Brown breaks the tackle and gets back to the line of scrimmage and stretches the ball out for a gain of about a yard. So that'll bring up 3rd and long. And are they just trying to run the clock out here, John? What are they doing?
I'm not real sure what they're trying to do. I think probably one of the themes of the half is that the success Clarinda's had has been throwing the ball. It's been that counter tray play. But outside of that, Underwood's done a really good job of taking care of Tate and Brown. And I'm sure that was probably a focus going into the game.
So it's going to be 3rd down and 9 from their own 16-yard line for the Eagles. Or excuse me, for the Cardinals. Schmidt comes out in the pistol. Taden Brown stands behind him. Schmidt takes the snap. He's going to fake the handoff to Brown. Now Schmidt back to pass. Going to look deep across the middle of the field for Adam Johnson, and he's incomplete, and they're going to throw a flag. Looks like Josh Ravlin was that Ravlin or Boothby there on the coverage? Either way, he had Johnson around the waist. And
it's kind of interesting. That's one of those you could or couldn't throw the flag. The part that's really interesting is there's an official, 5 yards from the play.
Right, he didn't throw the flag. It was the official on the far sideline.
And the official doing the game at Tri Center threw the flag all the way to Underwood, so they all got flags. They all count the same. But, I suppose if you're the Underwood staff, that part looks a little questionable.
So it'll be a 15-yard penalty, 1st and 10 from the 31-yard line now for Clarinda. A new set of downs and decent field position. 1:39 to go here in the first half. 35-6 Underwood with the league. Nick Stavis alongside John Tarks with you here on the KMA Extreme. Schmidt comes out in the pistol formation again. Downey in motion. There's the snap from Schmidt. Handoff up the middle to Brown, and he goes nowhere. And Clarinda is not showing any urgency here late in this first half. They might just be trying to get to halftime here.
Yeah, it's a little interesting. There's not, we're huddling up, clock's a ticking, and they got 3 timeouts.
Coach Bevins there on the far sideline just trying to get his team, get the morale up here. 28-0. It was 28-0 just 5 minutes into the game. Underwood came out and just dominated that first couple minutes. Since then, it's been a decent game, but that's not really what matters. There's no moral victories in football, as that one is handed off to the outside, Taden Brown, and a nice pursuit and a nice tackle there made by number 22, Graham Jensen.
We got a timeout now, but it's from Underwood.
So timeout Underwood. They might be trying to get the ball back here. We're going to step aside here on the KMA Extreme. We'll be right back.
Is believing. That's what you'll hear from customers that choose Barrett Auto Center of Glenwood time and time again. Barrett customers come in for vehicles and service work, but they come back for conversation and honest advice. They want one of the largest pre-owned and fully serviced inventories in KMA land, and they return when they've gone elsewhere and it just isn't the same. See and believe for yourself how little differences add up to a better car buying experience. Come back to Barrett's and Barrett'sAutoCenter.com.
Welcome back in the KMA Extreme. Nick Thomas alongside John Tarks. It's 3rd and 10 following the Underwood timeout. They're going to try to get the ball back here. 52 seconds to go in the first half. Blitz up the middle. Schmidt takes the snap. He's flushed out of the pocket. And now he's running. He's just going to throw it out of bounds.
Schmidt's pass
And he was hit hard there by Jack Van Fossen after he let the ball go. And they're gonna throw intentional grounding here, I believe. The ref takes the flag out of his pocket. He hasn't dropped it yet. We'll see, and he does. What was that?
I like how he spikes it.
Yeah, why did he do that?
There was some attitude to that.
He pulled it out of his pocket. He was talking to his fellow referee here on the near sideline, and then instead of just kind of dropping the flag like normally, he kind of took it over his head and tomahawked it into the ground. That was quite that was something. Kind of like an umpire, in baseball, an umpire, the punch out when he does something super dramatic, and you're like, come on, dude, just drop it.
Yeah. I can't even really. I'm trying to think of a good analogy for the people at home to understand on the radio to know what we're talking about. But
well, they can see, so that's good.
Yeah, the video shows the whole thing, but
yeah, that was quite a dramatic flag toss on the ground there. 46 seconds to go in this half. Mason Boothby back to receive the punt. It's a bad snap, but he corrals it, and the punt isn't bad at all. That one's going to drop it. No, Boothby's going to field it, and he is crushed by Tatum Brown. Really nice play there by Tatum Brown, John.
Yeah, really aggressive play.
He is flying down the field. That guy can fly, I tell you what.
Yep, that's a play that young man, I don't know what he wants to do collegiately as an athlete, but if he wants to play football, that needs to make the clip. Because those are the type of plays that get you recruited, that get you on rosters, that get you scholarship money. That was an impressive play by Tatum Brown.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for Underwood with 39 seconds to go in the first half. Good field position here at the Clarinda 39-yard line. Ravlin back to pass, has all day. He's going to fire one deep for Boothby, and Boothby made the catch, but he's out of bounds. He tried to get that toe drag, but just couldn't quite pull it off.
Yeah.
Nice snag, though.
Yeah, it sure was. But again, just his overall awareness of where that wheel route should run. He's not doing a good job of leaving space for Ravlin to drop that ball in. That's probably the second or third time tonight we've seen him kind of toe tapping on the sidelines. He needs to wheel to a space about 3 yards parallel to the line, and then you have an opportunity to make a successful play.
2nd down and 10 now from the 46. Ravlin's going to roll out. Now he's going to backpedal. Now he's going to fire one deep. There's a flag in the backfield. That one is out. The throw is out of bounds. It looks like we might have a late hit on Alex Ravlin.
The Eagles staff needs to work with Wyatt Baker just on his body language and his stance. He's down here. He's not in an aggressive stance. You can tell pre-snap this is not coming this direction.
Well, it's actually going to be holding. I thought maybe we might get roughing the passer, and Alex Ravlin was kind of sitting on the ground, hands up in the air, thinking he got hit late, but either way, it's holding, and this is going to back them up a lot farther than I would think holding would. I'm not sure. Is that a spot foul, John?
It had to have been because they've moved this sucker
moved
a
him
long
back about
ways back.
20 yards, so it's 3rd and really, really long. 3rd and 30. Ravlin back to pass. It's going to be a screen. That's Jensen down to about the 40-yard line, so that should probably take us to the end of the half unless we're going to get another time. Underwood's going to call a timeout for some reason. So that'll – what are they trying to do here, John? Well, you got 18 seconds left in the half. It's 4th and 25 from your own 40. And they're just – are you throwing a Hail Mary? Is that kind of the –
Is it 4th? Is it 3rd? The guy in the field thinks it's 3rd. The scoreboard guy thinks it's 4th. I'm trying to think on that penalty.
So I think it's 3rd. So it's 2nd down in the holding, so it should be –
Yeah. So it might be 3rd down.
It should be 3rd down, yeah, okay.
Scoreboard guys to our opposite side of the press box here. So throwing us a curveball. So I think it's 3rd down.
3rd and 25, but either way, the timeout, I suppose, try to get a couple more plays in here before the half.
Yep.
But up 35-6.
I think this is smart as a coach. I think too many people give up. You know, I mean, if you're at this spot of the field,
might as well try.
Yeah, with 17 seconds to go in the second half, and you're trying to win the game, you're not taking a knee right now and going to the clubhouse. You're trying like heck to get there. I don't know why teams' attitudes aren't more like that before halftime as well.
So it'll be 3rd down and 25 for Underwood from their own 39-yard line. Ravlin in the shotgun, 2 receivers split out ride to his right. Ravlin back to pass, has all day, steps up in the pocket, fires a deep one to Jack Van Fossen, and it's through his hands. And a big collision there, as it looked like the routes were maybe running into each other there. Wyatt Baker kind of took out his own receiver there.
I would like to see what the route combination was supposed to be.
Yeah,
because one of those guys had to be wrong.
You had Baker here on the near side running a post, and then you had Van Fossen in the slot on the far side running a post, and when the ball got there, they ran into each other, and that was kind of self-defended.
It felt like the ball was intended for Van Fossen, and the best DB in the field might have been Wyatt Baker. Unfortunately for the Eagles.
So it'll be 4th down, 10 seconds to go here in the first half.
This has just been, I mean, how much time was left in the first when it was 28-0? Was there
6:52?
It's been a 7-6 rock fight since.
That snap is almost over Ravlin's head. He corrals it and boots a punt. That one's going to land at the 15. Brown's going to field it at the 15, and here comes Brown out across the 20 to 25, and he's going to run out of bounds with no time left, and that will take us to halftime. So, John, not bad here in the first half. I really don't know how to react to that first half. Obviously, Underwood jumps out to a 28-0 lead in the first 5 minutes, and since then, it's been a pretty sloppy game.
Yeah, it has. For as pleased as Underwood staff had to be the first 5-6 minutes, this has just been a carryover from last week since that point.
So it will be 35-6 at the break here on the KMA Extreme. Underwood with the lead over Clarinda. We're going to take a break here for halftime. We'll be back in about 10 minutes to kick off the second half.
Pierce Communications in Southwest Iowa is putting their full support behind the student athletes in tonight's broadcast. The local family-owned business provides complete solutions to your telecommunication needs. With competitive pricing, their team of technicians pay attention to every detail to ensure and provide high-quality workmanship. With fast availability, you can expect immediate computer service in case of emergency. Contact Pierce Communications, your Southwest Iowa security and telecommunications experts at 712-388-6260 and ask about their VoIP cloud offerings. Pierce Communications, business systems are their business.
Here it is. This is where my passion is my major.
With more than 80 areas of study, dozens of clubs and activities to choose from, and advisors who ask the right questions and offer support, it's easy to be you at Iowa Western.
Drop in to the Do Drop In for fantastic daily food specials. For lunch on Monday, chicken fried steak. Tuesday is Taco Tuesday. Wednesday is a wild card. Thursday, bacon cheeseburger, fries, and chocolate cake. And Friday is a sirloin steak sandwich. And for supper specials, on Thursday it's roasted chicken and Friday prime rib. Open 11:30 till 9 weekdays, till 2 Friday and Saturday, and closed Sundays. Drop in to the Do Drop in McClellan for great family food and drinks with friends.
Asria Health Clarinda provides excellence at every level, delivering exceptional service to each individual. From our inviting welcome program to our individualized care plans, we're with you every step of the way. Our team considers every detail in making you feel at home, providing a high level of personal attention. The entire Asria Health Clarinda experience is designed to encourage social activity and maintain regimens that foster health and well-being. Compassionate care, personalized service, state-of-the-art programs. Asria Health, Clarinda. Dave Lyon Towing and Repair has been serving the Underwood area for over 40 years. They offer 24-hour light and heavy-duty towing and recovery, including a rotator, winch equipment, wreckers, and flatbeds to serve you. They're available for repair on cars and trucks Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Located at 134th Street in Underwood, when you need a lift or repair work, call Dave Lyon Towing and Repair of Underwood, Iowa, 712-566-2317. Not the biggest, just the best.
Your feet carry you through life, which is why Clarinda Regional Health Center wants to make sure you're putting your best foot forward for any foot or ankle concerns. Our team of podiatrists are available weekdays to address your foot or ankle issues, ranging from arthritis to diabetic foot problems, bunions, hammer toes, or foot injuries that might require surgical care. CRHC wants to help you take a step in the right direction, so go to clarindahealth.com to learn more about our podiatry services.
Nordland Insurance Agency. Over 80 years of service to our area. Holly Stansberry and her husband Pete own Nordland Insurance now, an independent agency representing several companies, and they offer a full line of insurance products, including home, auto, commercial, farm, crop, life, and health. Nordland Insurance Agency, serving Southwest Iowa and Northwest Missouri. Visit us online at nordlandinsurance.com or call us at 712-542-5175. Nordland Insurance Agency, Clarinda. Solutions started small, but now we're growing as FDS provides live streaming coverage for over 20 schools across 3 different states on our Fuller Digital Solutions YouTube channel. Subscribe to get notified when we go live for your school events. Big events are captured live, and your business can get noticed with advertising during our live streams. Local talent and camera operators are encouraged to contact us too for future employment. No experience necessary. We will train. For information about advertising or working with Fuller Digital Solutions, email us and follow us.
Welcome back in to the K-Max stream. Nick Stavas alongside John Tarks here in Underwood, Iowa, as we are getting set for the second half. It's 35-6 in favor of the Eagles. And John, you know, we talked about it kind of going into the break there, but you know, Underwood jumped out to that 28-0 lead. And they had the 2 big runs by Gage Savin. They had the interception, the pick 6 by Sam Schoening. They had the fumble recovered by Max Tarks. They had another touchdown from Gage Savin. They jumped out to a 28-0 lead in the first 5 minutes of the game, and since then, there hasn't been a whole lot to talk about. So just kind of talk to me about what that first half told you and maybe what you're looking for in the second half.
Well, when Underwood's locked in, they're one of the 2 or 3 best 1A teams in the state. When they're not, they're a 5-4 football team. And if I'm Coach McKelson right now, I am very interested in having 11 guys on the field that are very focused at all times. And if I have to rotate some new people in, maybe to send a message to some of my guys that are some of my frontline guys, I'm willing to do it right now because you've got a game that honestly, I don't think your defense is going to let you, somehow miraculously let Clarinda back into this. But I'm telling my older guys, you got 2 quarters to kind of get right and to put some film down that we're proud of. I actually had a kind of a morning conversation with Coach McKelson this week, just talking about, when your program gets to a certain point, you want to play against your standard, not against your opponent. Mm-hmm. When you begin to play against your standard, you're trying to cross off goals. You're trying to take things on a weekly basis, and when the game's over, you take a look at your statistical measures to know if you were successful playing to your standard as opposed to playing against your opponent. And I would say right now, if they had a list of whatever your common standards might be, they're not playing to their standard right now. And I think that's probably the part that probably is frustrating for the coaching staff.
Yeah, some scores around the area right now. Apologies for the ticker on the bottom of your screen not working. We're still kind of ironing out the kinks. It is just week 2 for us. So we will get that up and rolling next week, hopefully. But some scores around the world here. Creston up 10-7 on Winterset in the third quarter. Southwest Valley taking on Sydney, beating them. Southwest Valley's up 28-0 in the third quarter. You can find that stream with Ethan Hewitt on our KMA live stream page. But I think the big one, East Mills and Lennox on the KMA live stream, is 16-16 at halftime. So a good one going there in 8-man football. St. Albert down 14-20 to Riverside in the third quarter. That is who Underwood gets next week. Harlan up 49-0 on Grinnell at halftime, and that is a team that I would not want to see if I was any 3A team in the world right now, because Harlan seems to have the fixings for another state title. Glenwood trailing Indianola 17-0 at the half. Red Oak leading West Central Valley 39-0 at halftime as well. So as we are getting set for this second half, there's the kick from Bayshore, and that is a deep ball. It's caught by Paulsley at the 5. It's going to be a reverse here. Taden Brown has got some room. 20, 25, 30. Brown, 35, 40. Brown down the sideline. He gets out of bounds. A nicely designed play on the opening kickoff of the second half. And Clarinda sets up shot with good field position.
A couple things on the Eagle coverage there. They will talk to you about, too big a gap, too big a lane over here. Too many guys zeroed in on that ball before that handoff on that. But significant improvement on their safety play on their coverage unit from the play 1 of the season when Lucio Fedoni took one to the house against the Eagles.
Yeah, that is a guy you do not want to kick it to. Harlan knows that all too well. It's 1st and 10 from their own 44 for the Cardinals. Schmidt comes out in the pistol formation. Schmidt's going to toss it to the outside to Brown. Brown trying to get the corner. He does. He's out across the 45. Down the sideline, stays in bounds on the far side and gets inside Underwood territory. Actually, they're going to mark him at about midfield, so a nice gain of about 6 yards there. And it'll bring up 2nd and 4 for the Cardinals.
Yeah, twitchy, fast, competitive run there by Taden Brown.
He is quite the player. You mentioned before the broadcast, you talked about Silas Bales a couple years ago and from Glenwood looking good in pads. Taden Brown is one of those guys who looks good in pads. He is big, strong, and fast, and he's going to get the ball again here on 2nd down, and he breaks free. 30, 25, 20, inside the 15, down to the 14-yard line goes Taden Brown. What a run from the senior running back, and he is running free in this opening drive of the second half, and the Cardinals are in business right off the bat.
Man, that kid has come out with some sort of purpose. I don't know what was said at halftime, but Taden Brown was paying attention.
So a gain of about 35 yards on the run there. It'll bring up 1st down and 10 for the Cardinals from the 15-yard line of Underwood. 35-6 is the score as we have just started the third quarter. 11:18 to go in the third. And Clarinda in business here trying to make this a game. Schmidt comes out in the pistol. Brown behind him. They're going to hand it off on the counterplay again. Brown cuts up the middle inside the 10, and he's down to about the 9-yard line. And that one cut speed that he has is something, John.
Yeah, really running aggressive. There's a different Taden Brown on the field right now than we saw in the first half.
And it reminds me, I'm an Iowa State fan, so I'm obviously biased, but it reminds me of that Breece Hall style running where he ganks that one cut and he just gallops. It doesn't even look like he's running that hard. He's so fast when he gets in the open field. And he is a weapon for the Cardinals if they can get him going. 2nd down and 4 from the 9-yard line for Clarinda. Down he goes in motion. Schmidt takes the snap. He's going to fake the handoff, drops back to pass, looks to the outside, and it's caught in the end zone. Touchdown. Isaac Jones, I believe. Yes, sir. Yes, it is Isaac Jones. So Adam Johnson wears number 8. Isaac Jones wears number 9. It's sometimes tough to tell, but that was Isaac Jones, and Clarinda only needs 4 plays to go 55 yards for the score on the opening drive of the second half.
You know, we had some dialogue there about 2 minutes ago about Underwood's defense being able to hold this lead. We might need to eat those words if this continues at the pace it is.
So Clarinda only needs 1:35 to score there, and they will go for 2, trailing 35-12. Schmidt takes the snap. He's going to keep the ball on the fake handoff to Downey, and Schmidt is in for the 2-point conversion. So that'll make it 35-14, and talk about, I don't want to say getting punched in the mouth because Underwood is obviously up by 21 points still, but that is the way. If there's any way that you want to come out trailing 35-6 at halftime, that's how to do it if you're Clarinda.
Well, whatever flicker of hope the Cardinals came into the second half with, that light's just a little bit brighter right now than it was 5 minutes ago. Probably as impressive of 4 or 5 plays as they've had in their season so far. And I think if they can continue to play like that, we're going to get down here late in the fourth quarter with a ball game on our hands.
Talk about, John, on that drive, kind of what you saw in that play sequence. Obviously, Taden Brown a big part of it, but, just a really well-called, well-blocked 5-play drive there.
Honestly, Clarinda, it just looked to me like they wanted to be in the football game on that play, on that possession a little more than Underwood did. They wanted to compete harder. They ran harder. It was their finest effort part of probably any part of the game so far. Now, the thing that kind of has my concern just watching Clarinda, like watching Taden Brown, I'm just not totally sold on the conditioning of the Clarinda team right now. They've done a nice job. I see they've got some nice roster improvement this year. They got more kids out. But they still, they're kind of an 8, 9, 10 kind of size senior class, very similar to Underwood. And, a lot of two-way guys. I'll be curious to see. It's going to take the kind of effort they've displayed here in this last drive. Do they have the stamina to maintain it? I think that could be the part that could get real interesting for Clarinda.
So a big drive there for the Cardinals to give themselves a little bit of life here on that far sideline. It's 35-14, and a nice kick there by Isaac Jones. It'll be taken at the 10-yard line. Out across the 20 to the 25, and he is hit hard by Carson Downey at the 29. And who was that on the return there? Number 8 for Underwood.
Would have been Easton Robertson.
Robertson, okay. So Robertson gets hit hard there by Carson Downey, but he gets down to about the 28-yard line, and that's where Underwood will take over.
This is really a possession that Alex Ravlin needs to take control of his offense.
Yeah, we've seen Ravlin kind of struggle a little bit in that first half with a couple interceptions as Jensen takes it out across the 30-yard line. And what are you telling Alex Ravlin? He has all the talent in the world for a 1A quarterback, right? But sometimes maybe the decision-making isn't quite there. You know, what are you telling him if you're Coach McHaleson? Still early in the season, obviously still settling into the groove, but, you know, and this is the handoff up the middle to Jensen. Jensen breaks free out across the 45 to the 47-yard line. But back to Ravlin, you know, what are you telling him? Because, you know, those throws are okay now, but when you get deep into the postseason, you're playing good teams, those are the kind of throws that you can't make.
He really needs to take what's there. He really needs to make crisp decisions. He needs to put the ball in situations where his guys and only his guy can be successful. He's putting the ball out there in too many places where it's kind of up for grabs.
So 1st and 10, Ravlin pump fakes. Now he's going to take it off and run it out across midfield to about the 48-yard line. Goes Alex Ravlin on the quarterback scramble.
Now that's a good, crisp decision by him. Get the ball, look up, look to the side, route not there. Something opens up in the middle to get yourself into a positive gain. 6 yards later, it's 2nd and 4 for the Eagles.
So 2nd down and 4, the handoff to Jensen on the outside. Jensen gets out across the 45, and he's tripped up at the 40. And if he did not get the shoelace tackle there, I don't know who that. I believe that was Downey on the shoelace tackle. That's probably 6 for Graham Jensen. It was green grass in front of him there, and now Underwood working quickly here. 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line for the Eagles, trying to answer that quick touchdown from Clarinda. Ravlin back to pass. Ravlin has a wide-open Josh Ravlin, touchdown Eagles. Josh Ravlin just burned the cornerback, Ronnie Weedman, on the near sideline, and that is about as easy of a pitch and catch for a touchdown as it gets for the Ravlin brothers.
Yeah, that was one at about 2 yards downfield. That footwork, he kind of faked an inside slant. I just happened to kind of catch that out of the corner of my eye, and that was open. You hear me go, ooh. I thought it was the ooh, that poor DB. Poor Ronnie, that was kind of that's going to be a rough take for him on the clip.
Ronnie Weedman, one of the faster guys on the field in terms of pure speed, a track standout. He steals a lot of bases in baseball over the summer as Bayshore knocks through the extra point. But that time it looked like it was just a really nice move by by Josh Ravlin right off the line of scrimmage, and he was gone.
That's in 1A, 2A, a small school ball. The quality of your DB coach, the quality of your receiver coach to teach that type of stuff at the line of scrimmage, whether it's the hand fighting, the footwork, the release technique, some of those types of things, there can be significant gaps in coaching from team to team in different parts of the state. And I'm not sure what they had young Ravlin coached up on there right there, but he won at the line of scrimmage. That was really as well executed a release move as you'll see a 1A receiver make.
So 42-14 the score now. We're going to step aside for 30 seconds here on the KMAX stream.
Pierce Communications in Southwest Iowa is putting their full support behind the student athletes in tonight's broadcast. The local family-owned business provides complete solutions to your telecommunication needs. With competitive pricing, their team of technicians pay attention to every detail to ensure and provide high-quality workmanship. With fast availability, you can expect immediate computer service in case of emergency. Contact Pierce Communications, your Southwest Iowa security and telecommunications experts at 712-388-6260 and ask about their VO.
Back here in the KMAX stream in Underwood. The kickoff there from Bayshore, and the kick is muffed there by Dominic Polsley, but he makes a move, and he's out across the 25 to the 30. Polsley has room out across the 30 to the 32-yard line goes Dominic Polsley, and now we're going to get a late flag here. Looked like there was a big hit. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not real sure.
Who it was.
I feel like that's going to be on McKenzie from Underwood, but I'm not totally. It's kind of one of those first guy, second guy kind of calls, and the second guy got caught. Haven't seen the call yet, but it feels like it's going to go against Underwood. Yep.
And it will go against the Eagles, so even better field position here for the Cardinals, and now this is kind of turned into a track meet, John.
A little bit up and down. Yeah, we've gone from kind of a sloppy second quarter to both teams scoring somewhat easily on their opening possessions.
Maybe they just need to kick off. I mean, it feels like obviously right out of the gate in the first half and now right out of the gate in the second half. It's just points, points, points.
Yeah, both offenses.
Maybe they don't need to settle in.
Both offenses have come out pretty crisp.
First and 10 from their own 46. Good field position again for the Cardinals to start this drive. Trailing by 28 points. Schmidt takes the snap. It's a speed option. The pitch the outside to Tate and Brown, and that one is snuffed out by the Underwood defense there on the far sideline. A nice play on the far side by Wyatt Baker. Or, excuse me, was that Riker Adair? Yes, that was Riker Adair on the far side.
Riker Adair, a young man who over the first 3 weeks of the season has certainly seen his opportunities increase to be on the field. It's one of the things I'm most impressed with the Underwood staff is how they bring along these young kids and names you're not even thinking of being contributors. Suddenly 3 weeks in, they're out there doing what you need them to do.
A little confusion here on the Underwood defense. Schmidt, the snap, hands it off up the middle, and that goes nowhere. A loss of about 2 yards, and that'll bring up 3rd and long. Really, Paulsley on the carry for Clarinda.
Really interesting watching Clarinda here on the back side of these outside zone plays, just trying to cut the Underwood defensive line, which is something as an old school option guy was near and dear. I loved being able to, when he pulled up and the defensive line was 5'11", 225, we were going to have a fun night cutting them boys. I'm going to make you get up off this ground a whole lot tonight. And when you could do that in the old option offense, you were having a good night as a team.
So 3rd and long here, 11 yards to be exact from their own 45. Schmidt takes the snap, fakes the handoff. He's going to fire it deep down the far sideline for Jones, and it's picked off. Josh Ravlin again. And it's another long punt for the Cardinals. And another interception. That's the 7th turnover in this game. And Underwood will take over at their own 22-yard line.
Well, yes, as much as these teams are giving the ball away, we should have had a pass the hat for some sort of local charity at halftime. They'd have gone over like gangbusters.
Did we get a free Big Mac or something for the amount of interceptions thrown in this game, maybe?
But Josh Ravlin, we talked in the game about the Eagle DBs needing to have better ball awareness.
He's had an amazing night.
Yeah, he's picked it up here. 2nd and 3rd quarter have been really good for him.
Ravlin, Alex Ravlin. 5 wide. Pressure coming right off the bat. Ravlin escapes. Now he's looking downfield. He's going to tuck and run out across the 25 to the 30. 35, 40. Ravlin, 45. Makes a move. Down across midfield. 45. Still on his feet. 40. 35. 30. Alex Ravlin finally brought down at the 28-yard line. There are 2 penalty markers back here at the Underwood 41. That was one heck of a run by Alex Ravlin that might not even count.
That's going to be really frustrating. One of the things, youth coaches, if you're listening, anybody listening, coach your kids up to not block behind the ball. Meaning, if the ball's 15 yards going the direction we want it, turn into a spectator. It's one of the few times in the game your coach is going to tell you, hey, it's okay to hang out, it's okay to root on, but don't block behind the ball because stuff like this happens and it negates probably 40 yards of offense.
So I believe they called holding there.
Yep.
I don't know. It was on the near sideline here, but either way, it was about a 50-yard run from Alex Ravlin that is going to be walked all the way back. Remember, it's a spot foul for holding in high school football, so it'll be 1st and 1.
For those of you with your bingo cards at home, we do have 1st and 1.
7 interceptions and a 1st and 1. It's been quite the night for us, John Tarks. 5 wide again for Alex Ravlin. Clarinda showing blitz up the middle. 2 wide receivers on either side. Or excuse me, trips to his left. Ravlin's going to look that way. Gears up and fires a deep one, and wide open is Wyatt Baker. Baker inside the 45 to the 40. Baker to the 35, and he's finally brought down at the 30, and that gets about every yard that they just lost.
Yeah,
right
we're back to where we were. We're back to where we were.
What happened on the far sideline of the Clarinda defense there, John?
Well, I'm not totally sure. I know when you go empty, you should not have that kind of time as a quarterback that Ravlin had. Underwood with an interesting set here. They're 5 wide with no running backs in the personnel.
Quick snap here, no huddle. Shot to the end zone for Van Fossen. Receivers got tangled up, and they're going to throw the flag.
Yeah, I would say that's got to be one you got to have. We've talked a little bit about the conditioning of Clarinda. Now we see a couple of the Underwood guys after some big plays kind of grabbing their knees. I think it's really in vogue right now in coaching to, let kids get into football shape playing football. I'm going to tell you, I'm a guy that I thought that was a load of garbage. I mean, we're going to run hills. We're going to get in shape. We're not going to be grabbing our knees. We will be, the finest conditioned team. And that's something right now, if one of these teams was in a superior conditioning thing, they could really boat race the other right now, because it would be a significant advantage for the team if there was one in really superior shape right now.
First and 10, Underwood.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line for the Eagles. Raveling in the shotgun. 2 receivers on either side. Maddox Nelson in the backfield with him.
Yep.
Raveling takes the snap. He's going to hand it off up the middle. Nelson bounces off a tackle inside the 10 of the 5. Touchdown, Eagles. A nice run there from Maddox Nelson, breaking off first contact, and the Eagles strike again.
He's really a fun football player. I mean, when you think of a football player, he's it in every sense of the word. What a tough run, really competitive. When you look at the things that have maybe separated the Underwood football program in recent years, it's having athletes like Maddox Nelson and kids that love the game and are tough-minded like the Underwood wrestling program that have really taken this program to another level.
Bayshore remains perfect on the PATs. And, John, I know you're a sucker for special teams. How nice is it to have a guy in high school, especially in 1A football, who can just easily go up there and breeze through the PATs? Yeah, because we've seen it so many times already this year. I've only done 4 football games, but I've seen more missed extra points than I've ever seen in my life. For Bayshore to go up there and be 7 for 7 for extra points is quite impressive.
And his first PAT of the year was nothing to get excited about, but he's certainly improved since. Yeah, you know, the special teams part of it, you see some schools that, I mean, they don't even try. They don't. Yeah. You can tell they don't rep it. We're just going to go for 2 all the time. You know, it's one of the more fundamental parts of the game that really there's little things when you're watching film of your opponent. Their attention to special teams. I say the farther downstream you go, meaning smaller school, you can look at little things like wide receiver stances and say, are these guys really well coached or not? Their spacing, their splits, their attention to detail tells you an awful lot about, you know, the coaching your opponent's getting. So when you have somebody like that can come in that's got leg talent, obviously it tells you probably got a decent soccer program. You probably got a kid that does pretty well in the spring kicking that ball. But you've got to have some of the fundamentals and some of the scheme and some of the attention to detail from the staff. Coach Williams down here, this is his 3rd year on staff. He's a young coach. I think he's from down your neck that was down Glenwood way.
Oh, yeah?
And he's a young man that just is growing as a coach on a really, really good staff here at Underwood.
So 49-14, and correct me if I'm wrong, John, I believe 35 points is a running clock. Is that correct?
It is. We may need to tell the guys next door that, but
I don't think it stops for. I think it still stops for scores. I believe. I could be wrong there. I think it still stops for scores and kickoffs, but in terms of first downs, out of bounds, incomplete passes, I think it continues running.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I've never had a good grasp on when that clock should run or not in this situation.
Deep ball there, deep kick, fielded at the 5-yard line, and out across the 30 to the 31-yard line goes. I'm not sure who that was.
I'm struggling on that one.
Number 11. Let's pull up the roster here. What do you say, John? Number 11 there is no number 11.
I thought it was number 4.
Oh, it was number 4. Okay, so that's Noah Harris. Okay, Noah Harris has gotten some time tonight.
Sincerest apologies to Noah's family, grandparents.
Yeah. Just like Gage Savin, you know, I screwed that up too. You know, we're not perfect up here.
Who are you? Who am I? I don't know.
Oh, man. Especially, you know, Clarinda has those Under Armour jerseys that really scrunch up in the front. So if it's an 8, 9, and 6 all look like the same number, so it can get a little difficult. Low snap for Wyatt Schmidt. He keeps the ball out across the 35 to the 36, gain of about 3.
Really nice hustle play there by Graham Jensen, chasing that down from behind. That's the type of hustle you want to see out of one of your key cogs. He's had a really nice night for the Underwood defense.
So it'll be 2nd down and about 6 or 7 here for Clarinda from their own 36-yard line. So the clock is running. We'll see when the clock's supposed to stop if it continues running in terms of the running clock rule. 35 points in the state of Iowa typically is a running clock. Wyatt Schmidt will keep it again, and he gets out to about the 39-yard line. And Coach Tarks, this is a question I want to ask you, and it's something I've always wondered with coaches, especially in high school. When you're losing by 35 points in the second half, and if you're a Clarinda team, you have to imagine, you know, you've played a really tough schedule so far. You have to imagine when you get into district play, you are going to be competitive. how long do you keep your starters out there? Do you risk a guy like Wyatt Schmidt, who's ran it the last 2 times? Do you keep him out there and keep him running the ball, or what do you do there?
Well, you're clearly in a situation that my philosophy was when you get into 35-point rule games, whether you're winning or losing, at some point you need to clear the bench. All of those kids come to your practices, they come to your camps, they come to your weight room, they do a lot of little things you're asking them to do. Grandma and grandpa are here, they're in the stands, they want to see young man on the field. To me, that was always kind of an emphasis at this point in the game.
So Schmidt got it to Ethan McAndrews on the outside. It's a gain of about 5. It'll bring up 4th and short here for the Clarinda Cardinals, and they're going to keep the offense on the field naturally.
The hard part when you're the team that's down is you're kind of waiting on the team across the field to wave the, call the dogs off to give you that opportunity.
Right, because you don't want to send your backups out there and then Alex Ravlin just keeps throwing it deep, and, that's not really fair. We're going to have a blitz and a penalty and a free first down for the Clarinda Cardinals, it appears.
Yeah.
Got a little excited.
Yep.
Naturally. Tell me, John, when you have a linebacker who maybe doesn't get to blitz a whole lot, when you call that blitz for him on a 4th and short, I mean, he's got to just be so excited to get in there. Sometimes you're going to get him on the hard count.
He does. I always like to see those linebackers be a ball key type. Once you get into the LOS, it's clear you're coming. Quit listening to what's going on. Sneak your eyes inside on that ball, and the second that thing even flinches is when you trigger.
3:25 to go in the third quarter. It's going to be Taden Brown on the outside, down to about the 48-yard line. A gain of 6 or 7 yards there on first down. So Clarinda moving the ball nicely here. The clock did not stop on that penalty, so just so everyone knows, we do have a running clock. Under 3 minutes to go now here in the third quarter. 49-14 Underwood with the lead. It was 35-6 at halftime. It was 28-0 just 4.5 minutes into the game. And since then, it's kind of been pretty back and forth, I would say.
I would agree. Totally agree.
Formation we haven't seen tonight yet from the Cardinals. Schmidt rolls out. He fires a dart across the middle, and it's incomplete. That one had some juice on it right there.
Doesn't Taden Brown seem like one of those athletes that Northwest Missouri State drives like a whole whopping hour to get, and then he's on a national championship team as like a captain in 5 years from now or something?
He is quite the athlete, and it's tough when you're. It's tough when you're in his position because you're not the quarterback, so you can't necessarily control the game. So you kind of just have to play with the flow of the game. And unfortunately for the Cardinals, their first 2 games of the season, last week and this week, they've gotten down so early. There haven't been a lot of running situations.
Yeah, but there's pieces here to build with. Oh man, I love that Wilma's kid. I love the way your quarterback competes.
Blitz here. And Wyatt Schmidt rolls out. He's going to make a move. He tucks it and runs out across the 45 to the 40, inside the 35, and he's still going down the sideline, inside the 30 to the 25. So a nice gain there by Wyatt Schmidt. We saw him break free for a 49-yard touchdown run in the second half last week against Creston. And, back to that point, John, Clarinda did this exact same thing last year. They got beat 47-7 by Underwood. They went 0-3 to start the season, and then they won 4 of their last 5 games in the regular season and made the playoffs. So if you're Clarinda, you have to think, we've been in this spot before. Obviously, we don't want to be in this spot. Coach Bevins made that clear, but, all is not lost for the Clarinda Cardinals here.
Yeah. No, they
hand off up the middle to Taden Brown. Doesn't get far.
I almost think the number one thing that you got to do is you got to get this team in shape. You are when you're huffing and puffing and gagging out there, you're not in position to compete at your best, to play at your best, to think clearest. When you're tired, you start making mistakes, and that's old Jimmy Johnson stuff. You ever watch his stuff from the Cowboys? You watch it on NFL Network. I mean, if you're gassed, you are a long ways from your best. And then you're not king of the jungle either. You're not some pound on your chest, get after it guy. But if you're in phenomenal shape, then you have a chance to really be your best.
So Downey goes in motion on 2nd and 9. Ball on the 25-yard line. Hand off to the outside to Brown. Cuts it back up the middle. Tough run. Running over tacklers down to about the 19. A gain of 5, and it'll bring up 3rd and short.
Yeah, but you start, you look at Taden Brown. You look at Jones. You look at Schmidt. You look at Wilmas. There's some things here to be excited about. And there's some kids there that are very, very, very recruitable, small school, NAIA, D3, even upwards of maybe a D2 or, type of athletes out there. So there's certainly some pieces. You know, you talk about if you're the Clarinda staff, what are you looking for right now in a situation with a running clock? You know, I'm looking for film. I'm looking for execution. I'm looking for tangible things that when the film rolls on Monday, I can praise my team about. I can build them up with. We can build on with these things. And, you know, every coach is going to spin the game one way or the other. Guys, hey, I was proud of the way you responded, down 28-0, da-da-da-da-da. You played them pretty even from then on. Guys, we got to start the game better. You know, that would be a pretty common theme you'll probably hear in Clarinda this week. But they're certainly going to have the opportunity to have a very successful season. But I think fundamentally they got to get these kids in shape. That's the number one thing I would say.
And when you look at their district, you know, Greene County is kind of a perennial powerhouse in that Class 2A District 8. But outside of that, the district is pretty gettable. Obviously, Red Oak is surprising a lot of people this year. 2 dominant wins. I would assume they're going to win tonight. They're up 39-0 a half.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you're Clarinda, you have to think with the talent we have on the field, with the pieces you have, like you mentioned, you know, the season is not lost yet.
No.
It does not start like you wanted it, but these games, you know, I know RPI matters, and not just, you know, with all the new system, which has changed drastically since I was in high school 3 years ago, but, you know, you have to imagine we could still go win our district and be just fine. So I really think that Clarinda needs to hold their heads high, but also they need to improve on a lot of the things that you've mentioned as Brown rips his way up the middle. Gets down to about the 16-yard line for a first down. I did not catch the number on that injured player. It was an offensive lineman. I was not sure who it was. And we're going to get another. Oh, that's actually going to be the end of the third quarter. I forgot the clock was running. So that will be the end of the third. 49-14, Underwood with the lead. Clarinda knocking on the door, but the Eagles have it in hand. Running clock here in Underwood. We'll be right back to start the fourth quarter.
Next week, the Eagles will return home.
In to the Do Drop In for fantastic daily food specials. For lunch on Monday, chicken fried steak. Tuesday is Taco Tuesday. Wednesday is a wild card. Thursday, bacon cheeseburger, fries, and chocolate cake. And Friday is a sirloin steak sandwich. And for supper specials, on Thursday it's roasted chicken and Friday prime rib. Open 11:30 till 9 weekdays, till 2 Friday and Saturday, and closed Sundays. Drop in to the Do Drop in McClellan for great family food and drinks with friends. Drop in to the Do Drop In for fantastic daily food specials.
Azria Health Clarinda provides excellence at every level, delivering exceptional service to each individual. From our inviting welcome program to our individualized care plans, we're with you every step of the way. Our team considers every detail in making you feel at home, providing a high level of personal attention. The entire Azria Health Clarinda experience is designed to encourage social activity and maintain regimens that foster health and well-being. Compassionate care, personalized service, state-of-the-art programs. Azria Health, Clarinda.
Welcome back in. KMA Extreme, Nick Stavas alongside John Tarks here. As we enter the fourth quarter, it's 49-14, Underwood with the lead. Clarinda is knocking on the door with a 1st and 10 in the red zone. But, John, you know, this game is virtually over. I mean, you know, I don't want to say, I don't want to get exposed on a cold take, but I think it's probably safe to say that the Eagles have this one in hand. So what are you looking for here down the stretch from Underwood?
I'm just looking for continued execution. I'm looking at this point in the game, it's probably going to be hard to get your kids. You need more kids in your team to have responded this half like Josh Ravlin has. You know, I mean, think of that, those interceptions. Think of the attention to detail in defense. Think of that route running. You get 11 kids responding like he has, Underwood will have something.
Schmidt in the shotgun on first down, takes the snap at the speed option, makes a nice cut up the middle to the 10, inside the 5, bowling over tacklers and into the end zone. A tough run for Wyatt Schmidt and a touchdown for the Cardinals.
Yeah, he's a nice runner.
He's a tough runner, John.
Yeah, he does a nice job kind of setting up. He does a nice job sizing up defenders and making it very difficult to tackle them.
So the Cardinals not going down without a fight, and, you know, you just mentioned that a couple of minutes ago. That's kind of what you want to see if you're Coach Bevins. I mean, the game is probably not gettable at this point, but there's no reason to stop trying, as they're going to line up for 2 here. Obviously not a whole lot of trust in their place kicker, as we're going to see the same formation here. It's a read option. Schmidt's going to hand it to the outside. Brown, or excuse me, that's Downey fighting his way over tacklers. We'll see if he got it. He did. Wow, what a run there on the outside on the far sideline by Carson Downey.
Yeah, it's somewhat notable you don't see Taden Brown on the field on that play. You know, had Clarinda competed like this from the get-go, had their investment level and interest in being out there from the get-go was like it is now, we're not looking at the score gap that we are.
So 49-22 is the score. And, yeah, you think about it, it was 28-0. So by that logic, if you take away those first couple miscues by Clarinda, they could be leading this game.
They've outscored 22 to 14 cents, so yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just think if you're the guys in blue and the staff, it's going to be 2 weeks in a row. I mean, they came out of that Lewis Central game probably feeling pretty optimistic, feeling good about their effort, feeling good about how their kids played, with, you know, kind of a short list of things to work on. And I think they're going to come out of, you know, for a second week in a row like, man, how do we get these guys really locked in, really get them interested? Because you lose opportunities to improve as a team. You're starting to kind of mess with, you know, every week we need to make progressions to get to our maximum potential by playoff time. And if we're not capturing those moments in week 3 or week 2 of the season as it is, you start to diminish your overall potential as a team. And I think as a staff, that's what the Eagles staff has really got to be concerned with right now. I still would very much be in the mindset of getting 11 kids on the field that are ultra committed to being there and improving each and every rep here through the fourth quarter.
Looks like we could be getting a little gimmicky here on the kickoff for Underwood, and we are. There's the onside kick, and the ball's loose, and it looks like Clarinda has it.
Now, wow. How is this line judge? You better pull your flag out, brother, because that ball was touched at
about 8 yards.
Wow.
So 2 yards in front of the 10-yard threshold.
Somebody's got to get this right.
They're going to discuss it here.
Do they understand they're actually meeting as a group? Yeah, is that the flag right there?
I don't know. I can't tell. It looks like it might be.
I mean, they're meeting as a group where the ball was touched, which is 2 yards in front. Yeah, it's got to be Underwood ball. Really odd indecision by the guys in stripes here. Well, they sure don't look real interested in changing this.
So they're going to send the...
This looks like the Underwood offense coming on the field.
Yeah, this is going to be Underwood.
Yeah, there you go.
They get the call right. Woo! It took a little longer than we thought, but
man,
they get the call right. And, you know, John, that was a pretty well-executed onside kick.
It was.
I mean, I don't even think he needed to touch that 2 yards short. I think he could have let it roll, and they still would have had a chance to grab it. But
man, that was like dating my wife. It took her a long time to decide this is an all right deal. I mean, holy cow.
We have a wide-open Wyatt Baker here at the bottom of your screen. No one is covering him. And Alex Ravlin, I'm not sure if he sees it. They hand it off on a jet sweep. And this is a cross inside the 25, and he's out of bounds at the 19. A nice run there by number 8, Easton Robertson, the sophomore. And
yeah, that, you know, assignment and alignment, old Bo Pelini 101 to get you beat every time. Well, shoot, Underwood was +1 on the edge here before the play even started. And then when you get your play side tackle to go out and reach a guy and pancake a dude, you get the results that you have right now.
Wyatt Baker kind of turned on the sideline and threw his hands up in the air. He's like, why isn't anyone covering me? This is a handoff up the middle of Maddox Nelson, gets down inside the 10-yard line. Talk about Easton Robertson, a sophomore. You know, you talked about how you really like how he plays. This is a lot of good experience for him late in this game.
It is. It's one of the things that Underwood you need to take away from. We walked out of that LC game, and I said he needs to embody being the Lucio Fedoni of Underwood. His dad here was a senior in 1998 on the very first playoff team in school history, and I'm sure it's a lot of fun for his family to, you know, come here and see their young son having a lot of success on a Friday night in Underwood.
Are they going to measure this on first down?
Well, we haven't gotten a lot of work out of that chain gang tonight, and I saw them at the concession stand at halftime, and I know we need to get more work out of them for all the food I saw them take.
You know, Lewis Central Harlan last week, John,
Wasn't that a ball game?
It was a heck of a ball game, and I had the best seat in the house. I was privileged to be on the sideline for that one, but there was a really close first down that they just didn't measure. And I said, well, why didn't they measure it? And Brian Bertini mentioned to me that they really don't measure much in high school, but apparently these referees decided on 1st and 10 in a 49-22 game it was time to bring out the chains. So we'll see. Second and short, they mark him short, so it's second and short. The handoff, or no, it's a keeper for Alex Radlin, and he actually loses a yard, so maybe it was a good call for them to measure that.
Yeah, that was a very oddly executed play there by the Eagles. It was the timing on the mesh was just a little interesting, and everything about it just kind of melted into the ground.
People are wondering, John can see his reflection in the window, so for him to be able to make these calls of these plays without hardly even being able to see, it just shows you the kind of consummate professional he is up here in the booth.
Well, that reflection to look at is not real motivating, I can tell you that. You're trying to look through yourself and look at some of these good-looking athletes down here, you know.
We got an offside on Clarinda, so it'll be a free first down anyway for Underwood to set up 1st and goal.
I'm just glad we're indoors. You know, the last time KMA was here, my guy Tyler Hamilton had us outside with with the animals and whatnot, you know.
1st and goal from the 5. Raveling the snap, hands it off to Nelson, and he goes nowhere. Looks like maybe a missed blocking assignment there, John, or just a really nice play by the Clarinda defense.
Combination of missed assignments.
Chase Wilmus in there again, man. He is quite the player on the defensive line. I know that
he is.
Clarinda is trying to find a lot of bright spots in a game that doesn't have many, but Chase Wilmus is one of those, and like you said, if he can maybe just get in a little bit of better conditioning shape, and that'll come with the season, he can be a game wrecker, especially in Class 2A.
Yeah, he's an all-state caliber football player.
Raveling on the keeper, he loses the ball. Raveling fumbles, and it's picked up by the Cardinals. Tatum Brown jumps on top of it. Did they say an what did they just say?
They're still contemplating that onside kick.
The line judge here on the outside kick. Boy. The line judge here on the near sideline called it an incomplete pass.
That's
which
a fumble.
Just didn't make any sense, and that's a fumble. Yeah, it's going to be Clarinda ball. So Underwood misses the chance to get the running clock going again as they turn it over inside the 5-yard line. And
it'll be interesting to see how Alex Raveling responds this week going into the St. Albert game next week. Just securing the ball and his decision-making, those are significant leaps that the Eagles make as a team when he's really, really locked in. Can he make plays that are difference-making plays, or does he make plays that his team has to overcome? And, 2 weeks in a row, we've kind of had a lot of these where it's stuff the team has to kind of overcome. And that'll be something. I'm sure he's up for the challenge because he's one of the best competitors in the state.
So it'll be Wyatt Schmidt to keep it, and he's tackled in the backfield. Let's visit some of the scores here around the world. Ryan Matheny and Derek Martin, they do a great job, but they are not tweeting out the scores very timely here.
What's going on down there in Trainer tonight? That's what I want to know.
Well, the latest score we have from Trainer is, I think it was, it's 20-14, or not. Trainer. I don't even see Trainer. Oh, Trainer, 20-14, leading Tri-Center in the third quarter. That was 38 minutes ago, though. So that game could be over by now.
They could all be at B-dubs by now.
Hand off to. No, I'm joking about my bosses, Ryan Matheny and Derek Martin. They're great to me, and I love them very, very much. So I know they're listening.
I like how Trev picked the Eagles tonight, mainly, because Derek, if he picked against the Eagles again, there would be more burner accounts in Underwood, Iowa against Derek Martin. I think that was more of a baseball-related type of deal, but I think Derek's more loved in Eagle country than he probably understands.
And Derek has a way with words. I can tell you that. I'd also like it to be known that I'm leading the pick contest. I just want everyone to know that as Wyatt Schmidt fires one to the outside, and it looked like it might have been hauled in by Ronnie Weedman, but he lost control of it as he hit the ground. That was a nice effort there, though, but a good defensive play there from Alex Raveling. Or was that Sam Schoening? That was Sam Schoening.
That man Schoening really showing great. I wonder if that young man that runs track the way he closed on that. That was pretty impressive. Yeah, there might be an opportunity here for the Eagles to do something here. 8:40 to go. when your punt returner's lining up at your, their 40, 45, you got an opportunity to do some stuff here.
So the punt team out here for Clarinda. And gets it off, and it's a short, high punt. It's going to land at about the 38-yard line and roll to about the 44, and that's where it will be down. So Underwood will start this drive in plus territory. We're going to step aside here on the KMA Extreme.
Dave Lyon Towing and Repair has been serving the Underwood area for over 40 years. They offer 24-hour light and heavy-duty towing and recovery, including a rotator, winch equipment, wreckers, and flatbeds to serve you. They're available for repair on cars and trucks Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
with a couple 2 and 15 teams.
Welcome back into the KMA Extreme, as that was a nice run on the far side, I believe, by...
Looked like Jensen.
Jensen?
The Eagles have got to get Huneke. I mean, when that kid's locked in, he's as dynamic a lineman as there is in the state, but occasionally he kind of likes to watch the ball game a little bit out there. He gets downfield and just turn around. Are you sure you're back there? Dude, just go drill the next dude you see.
First and 10 from the 31. A deep shot to Boothby is caught over the shoulder, and he's shoved out of bounds at the 1. What a pass there by Alex Ravlin. Yeah. That is the Alex Ravlin we know and we know well, that we know and love. I mean, he's struggled tonight. He has not made great decisions, but right there, John, that is the kind of quarterback who can carry you to the dome.
And that catch right there speaks to the athlete that Mason Boothby is.
So a chance to go up big again, and he's in. Touchdown, Graham Jensen from the 2.
Is it really a play in the game of football if nobody ends up on the ground? I mean, there's 22 guys on the field. Everybody was like, yeah, let's just get in the end zone so we can kick off and move on to the next possession. I don't know. I mean,
so I was kind of wondering if maybe Underwood would try to go for 2 to make the running clock happen again, but they're not gonna.
No? Well, you got a weapon like Gus Bashore here. Keep exercising. Something.
Is it Bashore?
Yeah, it's Bashore.
Why haven't you been correcting me,
Well,
John?
we got things we got to work on.
Saying
Booth
Bashore all night as he knocks through another extra point. He is 8 for 8 on extra points tonight.
Yeah, if I'm Underwood, I want to find opportunities to let him kick some field goals because he's got the leg talent to be a difference maker. When you get deep in the playoffs, when you get to thinking about the dome, it's the ability to complete the crucial pass. It's the ability to do some things in the kicking game to make that field goal. Those are the things that get you to the victory lane late in the season. And those are things, you asked earlier on, what are things you want to work on? I am looking for opportunities to get him a chance to kick that ball.
So it's 56-22, 1 point off the running clock, so this game will continue as normal. 8:01 to go here in the game. And if, John, I know there's optimism around this Underwood team. And, everywhere kind of, we've been talking at the station all week that Underwood is probably the best team in 1A, if not the best, or one of the best teams in 1A, if not the best. What is the ceiling for this team? I mean, I have to think that they have a state championship caliber talent team, but what does it take to put the pieces together to make a run like that? Because that's a lot of wins in a row to get to that point. Well, and I know it's early in the season, but
you got to have depth. You got to have kids that, when you get those nicks, you can overcome those things. Like last year, Scotty Pearson hurts his elbow late in the trainer game, and, they try to heal him up. They bring him back, and they weren't just quite able to overcome that injury in the critical game in the quarterfinals last year, So you got to have depth with that. You've got to have staying power with your kids to keep focused that long. But, the tough part is you've got a team that is a state title caliber squad, but they have yet to even make it to the semifinals yet. So, it's an interesting paradigm to have goals that are well beyond what you've accomplished to date. Underwood's been to the Dome once back in 2002, and a team that probably ought to have the big trophy sitting in the trophy case.
John, you talk about how they haven't been in the semifinals, but their geography is always a tough draw. They get West Sioux, they get Van Meter, who are two perennial powerhouses. We'll see former West Sioux quarterback Hunter Deckers in Ames tomorrow, starting for the Iowa State Cyclones. But they were 10-0 going into the quarterfinals last year, and you have to think with most of the roster back from a season ago, this is a team that has state championship aspirations, as a run up the middle for Clarinda goes for about a yard.
Yeah. I think you've got a squad. I know you've got a coaching staff that, while the quarterfinal banner will look nice in the building 20 and 30 years from now when you come back for the reunion, you've got a staff here that's accomplished that 2 and 3 times now, and they're thinking bigger. And we need to have I say we as a parent of a kid on this team, as a community need to be thinking that way, and what different things the coaching staff is doing and supporting those guys as they're implementing those things to try to get this team to a new plane of accomplishment within the program.
Schmidt comes out in the pistol. Down he goes in motion. Schmidt takes the snap. He's going to turn around, hand it off to Tatum Brown. Brown out across the 20 to the 22-yard line. It looks as if it is the second-string defense in for the most part for the Eagles. And it still has their starters out there.
That counterplay they've run has been smoke all night long. I don't think 4 yards might be the worst gain that's been all night, and I can't remember the one where it was for. It's been 5, 6, or possibly more every time they've run it. It's a really well put together play there by Coach Bevins and his staff.
Unfortunately for the Cardinals, they haven't been able to run it a whole lot because they've been down by so much for basically the entirety of this game, as this is a new player in at quarterback, and he throws an incomplete pass. This is number 2, Karsten Beckel. We saw him take a nice punt return there earlier, kickoff return there earlier in the game, and now he comes in at quarterback. So Wyatt Schmidt is done for the night. Tatum Brown appears to be done for the night, and now the Clarinda Cardinals are going to punt it away again. And
you got Riley Sealock back here for the Eagles.
Clock is stopped at 6:26 to go.
Sealock family and the Tarks family have farmed down there in Garner Township here together alongside each other for many generations.
Low snap. Punt is good, though. Sealock will take it. No, he'll wave it off at the 47-yard line. It takes an Underwood bounce, and that's where it will be down. So 6:18 to go in this game. 56-22 the score.
Yeah, we got the young Lutt kid coming in under center, and I tell you, we talk about the Underwood talent fountain. I mean, these guys have had a really nice run of these quarterbacks having 3-year runs at it. You look at 3 years with Alex Ravlin, you look at 3 years with his brother before that, you look at 2 years with Nick Pedersen before that, and then you got this Lutt kid. I tell you what, he's got the look of all the intangibles to maybe be the best of the bunch, and that's saying a mouthful because the 3 guys we just rattled off have all been 3 of the best the school's ever had.
Again, I'm going to apologize to my bosses back at the station. It appears that ScoreStream, which is the software application that we use for high school football scores, is down, which is why my ticker is not working. So that is why they're not necessarily getting out the scores as fast as they could. But, John, you think about technology and how far it's come. 20 years ago, could you even imagine a world in which you could get live updates from a high school football game in rural Iowa?
We're still sitting in the middle of a cornfield. Everywhere we go, we're in a cornfield somewhere doing this, I mean, even down there at LC, you can smell the corn. It's a whole mile away.
You can smell the cow manure is what you can smell.
Hey, we got Wi-Fi in the feedlot. I mean, we don't know about the quality, but we know it's there, and it's only going to get better. So I wouldn't be too down the mouth about our technology.
So shout out to those guys back at the station, Ryan and Derek, and everyone helping out there, getting the scores out. I'll try to get some of those for you guys. And this is Easton all the way out across the 35 to the 40. Easton.
He's got a good
Robertson with he's got a nice second gear, doesn't he?
He's got a nice feel for that fly sweep play. Does a really nice job circling the wagons appropriately and putting a foot in the ground to get north and south where he should. You can tell he's a bright kid. I know nothing about him, but just his attention to detail, his alignment, just his body language says, I know what's going on out here, Coach. Look at that. There he is again.
Throw the outside, almost intercepted there.
I always talk to kids about what your body language says. Are you a question mark or are you an exclamation point out there? Those question marks, they don't do much for us. But the exclamation points, you put 11 of them on the field, now you got something.
So you said this is number 18, Garrett Lewitt, the freshman in at quarterback from Underwood.
Yeah, his mother.
Is that how you say that? Or
well,
no?
I got to have the pronunciation police got to show up here for you.
Handoff up the middle to Sealock, and he has some room out across the 30 and a flag down.
He met an upperclassman there at the third level of the defense pretty quick. Now it's Garrett Lutt. Garrett Lutt.
Okay, well, thank you, John.
His grandfather was Gordy Fleet, a longtime AD up at Logan.
Huh.
One of the best athletic directors in Southwest Iowa history and state. And then his mother was an all-state basketball player back there in the mid-'90s up there in Logan. And they're a baseball family. I mean, older brothers playing, I think it's one of them, Buena Vista, Briarcliff. I get them confused. But he's a great athlete across the board. It's a name you'll need to get used to pronouncing. And I think he will be the next great Eagle signal caller. And he's just got some financial tools, physical tools that, man, I tell you. Well, his folks do all right, too. Let's not get that wrong. They look like they kind of got their act together. But physically, this kid, I mean, he'll probably be a 28-30 ACT, and he'll probably break the school passing records. It's all going to be good enough. All going to be downhill for him. There's that same
offside and another penalty, which will stop the clock at 5:24. So it's been about 10 minutes, and the clock has moved about 1 minute.
You got a hot date tonight?
No. I'm not trying to rush this game.
Well, you're a man
Trust
about
me.
the town,
That is no disrespect to these teams. It's just, these referees are calling this game very tight for how big the margin is. That's a nice pass from Lutt there to number 6. And, folks, I apologize for not knowing any of the names. That's Luke Seidler.
Yeah, you got it right. And again,
yeah, I mean, all the second strings are in here.
Yeah,
so this nice fancy little, you see this nice fancy stat sheet that I made?
None of those guys are on.
None of those guys are on the field anymore. So now it doesn't help much for me.
We talk about all the farming going on down in Garner Township 10 and 11. The Seidler family's right in the mix with the Tarkses and the Sealocks too.
Deep pass here and just over the head. The Easton Robertson, but a big arm there from.
Yeah, that ball just comes right off his hand. It's smooth. I mean, as a coach, it's like I don't want to coach you too much because I think if I do, I'm going to screw you up. Just let you rip that ball the way you do because you got some arm talent there that's not common in Underwood, Iowa.
Well, and you have to think, Alex Ravlin obviously graduating, but Underwood's going to return a lot of players next year, and if Lutt can be that guy for them, it's obviously big shoes to fill, and it's still so early in the season to even be talking about next year, but this is good experience for a guy that it stands to reason that he's going to be the starter next year. Is this a handoff to Sealock? Sealock inside the 15 to about the 13-yard line goes Sealock.
And we talk about the Robertson kid's dad being one of the key cogs on some of the first playoff teams in Underwood history. The Sealock kid, his dad Brian, was also a part of some of those late 90s teams. You
are just an encyclopedia of Southwest Iowa football, my friend. It is honestly so impressive. I mean, this is stuff before I was even born. Here's a fire across the middle, a nice pass, but nicely broken up there by the Clarinda defender. I believe that is number 2, Karsten Beckel, on the defensive side there.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, as a kid growing up in Underwood, Iowa, we never, from where the program was then till now, we never talked about going to the playoffs. We never talked about the dome. These were just not things that we were aware of at the time.
So a handoff up the middle to Sealock again, and he is stuffed.
But kind of in that late 90s, there was just kind of there was a shift in culture around here. It kind of started with some of the wrestler types. I mean, even that first playoff team in '98, their best players, like John Brocker was a quarterback on that team. He was a basketball player. He had blue wall. He was a state champion wrestler. And it was a combination of athletes from other programs that came together under some really good coaching in those years and punched Underwood's first ticket into the playoffs.
Underwood still trying to air it out here as the pass is dropped, up 56-22 with 4 minutes to go here in this game. And, yeah, John, I've heard that Underwood has not a bad wrestling program. I mean, the Thompsons a few years ago, I remember those guys at state wrestling all the time. And
those guys broke my heart.
It was a pretty storied program, the Underwood wrestling is.
Yeah, those Thompson boys.
You can see it, as you said, starting to seep into the football program.
Yeah, no, well, here we go. Perfect. Just the opportunity I was talking about. We got Bashore here to kick the ball. But I've said about Underwood football, when your framework is a 1A track champion type team.
Bashore left it short. No, they're going to give it to him. It looked like that landed short of the crossbar.
It looked a little rough, but hey, points
maybe
are
the
points.
Maybe the refs are on a hurry out of here too. I don't know. It's a tough angle from here, but that will make it a 59.
Underwood, 59.
But back
to 22 ball.
But
game.
back to my point. when you are a wrestling school, and that's honestly what Underwood was known for.
Right.
When you're a wrestling school that just got done hanging a state track championship banner,
Yeah.
I mean,
You're bound to have a good football
I will
team.
coach
I mean,
your
those are the
football
two. Yeah.
I'll coach your football team for free when you got that type of framework in the background. I mean, really enjoyable. There's just a lot of really, really good things going on. Underwood's in year 2 under the leadership of athletic director Tyler Hamilton. And I'm not afraid to brag on him a little bit. He's one of the young men I coached here back in 2007, 8, and 9. His people skills are phenomenal. He's being mentored by really great guys like Jim Dermody down to Lewis Central and Jeff Beeson down at Glenwood. And then, you take it even a step further down from your leadership in your athletic department down to some of the coaching staffs that they got in place and a girls basketball team that just went to state, a wrestling program that is perennial in the mix, and a football team that's perennially in the mix as well. The job Coach Ritter does with the track program and the guys in the weight room, there's just as much total program positivity right now in Underwood, Iowa as there's probably been ever.
And the kickoff there from Bashore. It's a little pooch kick straight out of bounds, so that'll be a flag. And let's talk about Clarinda for a second, John, because, this is a team, as we said earlier, has talent, has pieces. A lot of people thought that this would be the best Clarinda team that we've seen in a long time. They're going to start 0-2.
Yeah.
So if you're the coach in that situation, what is the message to your team on practice on Monday?
We got 7 games to go. It's a long season. We played up a 3A opponent. We played one of the 2 or 3 best 1A opponents. We responded well to poor circumstances in our most recent game. And, we talk about Underwood going to the Dome. Well, it hadn't been that long ago. Dave Carper was down there in Clarinda doing his thing and taking the Cardinals to the Dome. And there is that, there's 4 or 5 pieces on this Clarinda team that are, they are deep playoff run caliber type of kids. So there's a lot in front of this team yet.
High snap, the handoff up the middle, breaking free across the 50. This is Carson Downey inside the 40, and he's brought down at the 34-yard line.
That's a young man that likes to play the game of football.
Yeah, you think, you're down 59-22. This game is all but over, and Carson Downey's still out there knocking heads, running the ball. You got to hand it to Clarinda, John, to go down 28-0 like that. At that pace, we were looking at a 77-0 kind of game, but they fought back. They made it ugly, which is like what they wanted to do.
Yep.
And they honestly, they played quite well, given, like you said, given the circumstances.
Yeah, it's been an ultra-competitive game, sans the first 4 touchdowns of the game.
Sans the first 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So this is kind of an offset eye here, it appears, and a handoff up the middle, and that was Ethan McAndrews, I believe, or maybe that might have been the little McAndrews. I know there's 2. Let's see. Yeah, that's number 48, I think. So that is Colby McAndrews, 43. I'm just a little bit off tonight, John, and as always, any complaints you have to KMA Radio can always be tweeted at TrevMater96 on Twitter. Any complaints about anything we do, please direct them all to Trevor Mater.
Maybe like hashtag Stavus, something like that, so we know exactly who they're talking about. I just figured,
Trevor. That's something he really enjoys, is hearing people's complaints.
Oh, so. I don't doubt that at all. So I figure you're a young man about town. You're a Mills County guy hanging out in Pot County. Is there a significant other at this point in time, Stavus?
There is.
Okay,
there
I
is,
didn't know if you were out trolling the night or what.
No. I got to get up at 5:30 in the morning to head to Ames, John. That is, this is my job. This is what I love to do, and this is something that I'm never. I get paid to call football games. I'm never going to ever complain about that.
That ain't a bad go.
That one is incomplete on the far sideline.
I just didn't know if you needed some help. I know some people.
Oh, you're going to give me some advice.
Well,
okay.
I don't.
Let's hear it.
I don't look like hey. Advice that you can use that I do a really poor job of applying is when you get into a serious relationship, anniversaries, Valentine's Days, Christmas, all of these things you need to treat exactly as her birthday.
Okay.
And expect nothing. You get nothing.
Right.
You're there.
Yep.
These are things I don't apply very well in my life, and my wife would converse with that. But if you treat it that way, I think you got a chance to be successful.
Snap over the head, and That one is picked up and ran nicely all the way back to the line of scrimmage. Goes Karsten Beckel. But I will keep that in mind. That is really good advice, John. I do appreciate it. And, you know, it's always navigating waters that, you know, are largely uncharted for me. So we will.
Well, that any of us end up with a
good news is
a miracle.
The good news is I have your phone number. And so,
well,
if any questions arise, I will.
Really, the playbook of things I have to share with a young man as yourself, they're more of pitfalls to avoid that I've fallen into over time.
Okay, very nice. Speaking from experience then, huh?
Yep.
That is going to do it for us. The running clock is going to take this one all the way down to the end. And that will be the final score, folks, 59-22. And that's going to do it. Underwood with another dominant victory. We're going to take a short break here. We'll be back to recap some of the action.
Have a great 3-day weekend, and we'll see everybody later.
In to the Drop In for fantastic daily food specials. For lunch on Monday, chicken fried steak. Tuesday is Taco Tuesday. Wednesday is a wild card. Thursday, bacon cheeseburger, fries, and chocolate cake. And Friday is a sirloin steak sandwich. And for supper specials, on Thursday it's roasted chicken and Friday prime rib. Open 11:30 till 9 weekdays, till 2 Friday and Saturday, and closed Sundays. Drop in to the Drop in McClelland for great family food and drinks with friends.
Welcome back in, KMAX Stream, wrapping it up here shortly. A brief wrap-up here, John Tarks. 59-22, the final score. Underwood with their second win of the year. 2-0 or 2-1, however you want to view that first set game against LC. But either way, you know, in terms of on paper, on the score sheet, with these 2 wins so far, this appears to be one of the best teams in Class 1A.
Absolutely. Their ceiling is really, really high. And the overall height of their ceiling is going to be determined by the leadership they get from Alex Ravlin. I think after the last 3 weeks, that part is really, really, really super clear. He will take them as far and as high as you know, the Eagles will go as far and high as Alex Ravlin takes them.
And talk about, obviously, you know, Clarinda, we've already mentioned it. We had a lot of time to discuss, so there's really not a whole lot to wrap up here. But Clarinda, you know, what are you doing from now until next week or from now until district play starts? You're 0-2 now. You had high expectations coming into the year. It hasn't started like you want, but like you said, they still have 7 games.
They got 4 or 5 pieces in there that are really, really nice playoff caliber pieces. If I'm on their coaching staff, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to work pretty hard to get these guys in shape. We're going to have a very intentional plan to kind of scale that down as the week goes on. But I think they've got enough other things in place there to have a really successful season the rest of the way. But putting the kids in position to be the most successful that they potentially can be, I think that's got to start with just getting those kids in a little bit better shape.
Yeah, so again, 59-22, the final score. And John, one last thing, you know, you talk about moving forward. Next week, Underwood will have St. Albert, who was trailing Riverside last time I checked. I cannot get Clarinda's schedule to load here because, of course, you know, listen to me complaining about the Wi-Fi not working as we're out in the middle of a cornfield. But, you know, if you're Underwood next week, you know, what are you looking to improve over the next, you know, it was a good dominating game, but it wasn't perfect, as you mentioned.
I really challenge my upperclassmen. I mean, they're going to go 2-1 into a game where they're going to be prohibitive favorites. I am challenging my squad to put that game out of reach by halftime to get our young guys. You know, we need to rest. We need to make sure that we protect ourselves from an injury standpoint. We need to see our quarterback play take a significant step forward from a decision-making, ball security standpoint. And if you can get those things accomplished, those would be goals that you kind of define your week by as far as was this successful or not.
So that is going to do it for us on this KMAX stream. Quite the game. Strange one, I would say.
Yep.
Not exactly the prettiest thing, but either way, it's a 59-22 victory for Underwood. They moved to 2-1 on the season. Clarinda moves to 0-2 on the year. For John Tarks, I'm Nick Stavis signing off here on the KMAX stream.